BC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL Premiership season.
AFL. On your radio.
On digital. And take us with you on the ABC Listener.
Look for the AFL button.
2 months ago, they couldn't be split, and we get a rematch. Welcome to the Gabba. It's Brisbane versus Adelaide, one of the few drawn games that we've had in this 2024 season, and a chance to just see if one team can get the bragging rights on this glorious Sunday in Brisbane, which will close out round 17. If you've been at the MCG, welcome to the Gabba. Melbourne comfortable victors over West Coast there. The game between St Kilda and Sydney continues at the Docklands. Saints leading by a point there early into the second term. And here, well, the Lions, they need to win to return to the top 8 following the results of the weekend so far. They are on a hot streak, the locals. Since the bye, they have won 4 consecutive games. Their most recent, a come-from-behind victory over Melbourne, winning by 5 points here at the Gabba last Friday night. And the Adelaide Crows, well, what will we get from them today? They were terrific against Greater Western Sydney at home last week, picked up their 5th win of the season with a 16-point victory. If they get really hot, the mathematicians will tell you they still can make the top 8, but it's a matter of whether or not they can come to Brisbane and, again, gain some more respect competition-wide and some plaudits from their fans by turning in a good performance today. At selection, Brodie Smith, the veteran former All-Australian, comes in for Will Hamill, and there are no changes to the selected team. Zach Taylor is going to be the sub for Adelaide today, while for Brisbane, big defender Jack Payne returns from a foot injury. Delroy Joyce is out, and the sub for today is Logan Morris. The conditions are gorgeous. It's been a little wet this week in Brisbane, but no rain at the moment, and it's fantastic to have Michael Price alongside yours truly, Quentin Hull, to call the action, which will bring down the curtain on this round 17. Adelaide's a big footy club, Pricey. There's always focus on the Crows, but I think the competition-wide story is whether or not Brisbane can continue on this run after missing the kick in 2024. They're slowly putting themselves in a position where they might be able to put in another really good tilt in September. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you, Q. And they can jump into 7th spot on the ladder with a win today. But look, I was watching the Crows last week against GWS, and they played some very tough footy. They hunted the ball. In areas, they outplayed GWS at their own game as well. Isaac Rankin was sublime last week. The way he hit the contest and went through the stoppages gathering possessions was absolutely wonderful. Really looking forward to seeing how they bring it this week, whether they can get a bit of consistency in their play. That's been what's missing. And
our experts throughout the afternoon, Jeff White and Jason Ackermanis. Whitey, we'll start with you. Welcome along. Great to have you on board. You're smiling. The D's got a win. Now you can focus in on what's in front of us here. How are you?
Not like last week. Yeah, it's good to be here. As you said, the conditions are fantastic, considering we've had a lot of rain this week. Really looking forward to seeing... Rankin was superb last week, so you don't want to let him off the lead. He'll probably start forward, maybe in the middle, but geez, he's been good around clearances. Brisbane's got to be onto that. We noticed last week, particularly for the first 3 quarters, that the D's were really, really good from those clearances, and they just didn't get their starting positions right. So they've got to be onto that today, and they've got to watch Rankin because he can light up and could be the X factor.
The 2001 Brownlow medalist Jason Ackermanis has made his way in. Acker, lovely to see you for another Sunday at the footy. Lines are rolling. Crows, though, they've shown us that they can play some really good footy in patches, and they seem to save some of their better performances against the more highly credentialed teams. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. What a weekend it's been of footy. But yeah, I tell you, Q and Pricey and Whitey, they're a bit like the Terminator, Adelaide. They just really, you can't kill them. They just keep going and going and going, and you have to beat them across 4 quarters. Not that the Brisbane Lions can't or won't, it's a 4-quarter game up here at the best of times of the opposition. But that said, their midfield is as strong as anyone's, and if they get accurate in front of goal, they're very hard to beat.
What do you want to see from the Lions today?
I say it every week. I like to see Cam Rayner take the game, but that'd be nice. I can't say it. Well, Will Ashcroft's come back, and as I've been saying for years, Cam's got to get Will's numbers, and he's 7 years on, and Will's in his second year coming off a knee injury. So I think that's what what we will see, though, is not so much tagging. I'll be interested if Adelaide tag at all, but they'll just go head-to-head. So they'll get plenty of the ball, but it's going to be who can deliver out of there. The Lions, arguably the best midfield in the comp, best forward line starting to hum now. So it's exciting today, and it should be a close game.
That's what you like to see. You like to see the Lions back themselves in the midfield, don't you? But that's where we're saying just then, they've got to be really mindful of this Crows midfield, particularly Rankin. They've got to get their starting positions right.
Goes sort of one or two ways, doesn't it, when you get to this point of the season? And Adelaide's right on that precipice. There is still the mathematical hope if they keep banking the wins. But, boy, I mean, you guys have both played in seasons where you've been right in contention for finals and then you're just tuning the body up for the real stuff, or you've had to fight all the way to get there, and that means that you turn up switched on each week. Where are the Crows in that? Because the numbers crunch down that mathematically they can do it, but boy, it's such a tight walk for them. They cannot slip up at all.
They cannot slip up, and they'll get a lot of confidence from the game they played last week. Last week they got back to their DNA football, off the half-back line, using it really fast, getting inside forward 50. They had a really good setup last week with their forward structure. So hopefully today that they can give the Lions a test. On the Lions' perspective, this is where they've got to be a mature club, don't they? They've had a really slow start to the year. This is where they've got to man up, on their home deck. Let's get the 4 points.
Unlike the mob down the road, they've probably grown up a bit, haven't they?
Yeah.
In the last 4 or 5 years.
They do win on the road, the Lions, unlike the Suns at the moment. Yes. It's very hard to beat at home. But that said, I think that Adelaide's not thinking about finals, let me tell you. They're just out to win every game, and their attitude all this year has been like that. No one expects them to do well, and they're still in it. Well,
they were expected to do well perhaps at the start of the season, but from 5.5 wins, and, as the round began, 14th on the ladder, and here we are in round 17. It'd take something quite remarkable to get into the top 8 from here. So that final score, if you missed it at the MCG, Melbourne comfortable victors over West Coast, 17 goals, 10, 112 to West Coast's 8-10, 58. Midway second term at Docklands, St Kilda 4-3-27. Leads Sydney's 3-3-21. If you do want to hear that game, it's available on the ABC Listen app. Look for the AFL button in the red and blue. Let's get down to Zane Bojack, who's next to the benches out on the Stanley Street side of the ground. Zano, it's been a bit wet throughout the last couple of days. I know you got wet when we were doing league on Friday night at Lang Park, but looks good now. How are you?
Oh, sensational. I can't wait for this game. As we know, round 9, they couldn't be split, these two sides. Q, I haven't even got a coat on. It's 20 degrees, and I'm a North Queenslander and I struggle a bit. It's beautiful conditions down here. The surface looks superb. We've still got a little bit of sunlight, but it won't be long and these lights will be taking over because we're in that winter solstice period here in Brisbane. It does finish dark, or does start getting dark pretty early. I love all the kids in here on a Sunday. The kids come in free, and they've come in a number. I reckon we're up at about 30,000 here for this clash. And you guys will be talking about tagging. I wonder who's going to get the job on Isaac Rankin. 24 disposals and 3 goals against Brisbane in that round 9 draw. He is a star. We know him from his time here at the Gold Coast Suns. I wonder if Jared Berry, off the back of his contract extension, will get another job. He's done a great job already on Bontempelli, Steele, Butters and Oliver in recent weeks. Will he get the job on the man they call Isaac?
Yeah, it's been a big week, hasn't it, for the Brisbane Lions, not only securing Jared Berry but also Charlie Cameron on the same day. Akka, I know that you've...
I told you, Chuck.
Yeah, you were telling us that, what do you call him, Chuck?
Chuck.
Yeah, your golfing mate was going to extend.
Let me tell you, he's chucking a wobbly when his ball went in the drink a couple of times, but I told you he's not going anywhere. They're very happy, those boys, and I think the Charlie one is probably a surprise for a few because...
Yeah, Cameron is
an getting inundated, like, why's Charlie going? Why's Charlie going? I'm like, news to me, and that was the rumours for a long time, but they shut that down.
Yeah. So, looking forward to seeing what these two teams can present. The Crows are playing in one of their array of away strips. I seriously get lost in all the different playing strips these days. So this is, at least they've got the away white shorts, pricey. This is the...
Old school.
This is the predominantly navy with the gold trim and the outline of the large landing crow on the chest.
It's a very handsome looking away shirt.
I don't mind it. I don't know why they couldn't have just turned up in their playing strip, because the last time that they clashed with the Lions, I don't think...
It's the yellow numbers, Q. They both got yellow numbers.
You're not happy with that?
One should be at least white. If you got white shorts, wear white numbers. The other guys can have the yellow.
Brisbane have won the toss. Harris Andrews won the toss, and he's going to be kicking along with his team towards the right of screen as we're looking at it. That is the city end.
Who are you tipping, Jeff?
Brisbane.
Jason?
Brisbane, a couple of goals. Should be a good game.
I think it'll be a close game.
So,
They're just going to be careful they don't get that Brisbane don't allow teams get a run on. They've done that multiple times this year.
And Adelaide's struggled away from home the last couple of years, and they are a team that have shown they can play 2.5 good quarters against the good teams. Yep. But they're going to have to play more than that. Mind you, against a Brisbane team that still has a characteristic of allowing a run on to get against them. So it's the final game of round 17, Brisbane versus Adelaide at the Gabba. Here's Michael Price.
Umpire Alex Wetton, perfect bounce to start proceedings. McInerney slaps it forward for Brisbane. Immediately Lockneil gets involved. His handball turned over. Saligo back to Rankin. His first touch, long inside 50. Fisted forward by Harris Andrews. Crows with the numbers through Laird, then back to Walker. Gives it down to Laird. He's tackled into the ground. Good tackle. He was streaming towards goal.
Good work rate there from Laird there, Price.
And Zorko, the man who made the tackle early on. Ball up with Adelaide in attack. Fogarty tries to crash through, doing the roving. He's tackled, got rid of it. No great disposal, though. Starcevic steals it for Brisbane. Kicks them out of immediate danger, but stolen by Nankervis, right half forward for Adelaide. Hands it out the back to Saligo. Turns over his entry. Short passes intercepted by McCluggage at left half back for Brisbane. Kicks it around the edge of the centre square. Acker liked it, so did Kalachi. Takes the mark. Plays on for the Lions with a kick to Neil. Between wing and left half forward. Neil marks and will hold up. No quick entry here for the two-time Brownlow medalist. He spears a ball to the pocket and turns it over. Keane is there and takes the mark for Adelaide on an ill-directed entry from Lockie Neal.
A silly entry going wide.
I think he was trying to get to the... I think he
stuffed the kick.
Stuffed the kick, yeah.
The Irishman kicks long down the outer side. Wilmot spoils it forward for Brisbane. Front and square was Dunkley. His handball backwards to Andrews, then by hand backwards to Zorko. He bites off a little 45 kick into the corridor to McCluggage. A longer one from Hugh inside 50. And just as it was floating towards Hipwood's outstretched arms, he yelled out, good kick. He took it 45 metres out, just a slight angle to the left.
You can't ever underestimate what it's like to have ball in hand of any player who can actually read it that well. Hipwood was getting into a mile of space. The fence was way off him, but you still got to kick it there, and this is within his range, Pricey, but who knows where it's going to go.
Who was better to kick to, Bradshaw, Lynch or Brown?
Lynchy, because he didn't have to move much, and I just had to kick it a foot to his right, and he'd just do the rest.
I bet you he was grateful too, Acker, with all of that skill.
300 goals he owes me.
Eric Hipwood off the long run. He'll have to hit this one from just on the edge of the centre square. Does so. It's a long, raking left footer. It is a beauty. No, it's just touched on the line. It's one behind.
I think it hit the post.
Just clipped. 2 minutes 24 gone in this first turn. The Lions with the first score of the game.
Melbourne 17-10, 112 to West Coast 8-10, 58 earlier on. And getting late in the second term, St Kilda 4-4, leads Sydney 4-3 as Hinge, the X-line, makes the entry to half-back and his kick's turned over. Danaher steals it 50 out on the boundary. Kicks to the goal mouth and there he is, Jace. Cam Rayner, no, must have taken a touch.
No,
hold on.
That's a mark.
I thought I was about to call mark and then he went to play on and now the field umpire is engaged in discussion and the mark is going to be paid. Yes, it's a mark to Rayner at the top of the goal mouth.
Had his name all over that. All he needs is run and jump. The last few weeks at home, he has been clunking some real good marks. That said, he really had no pressure on him to have a free jump at it. He'll kick this one.
Very similar to what happened in the first quarter last week against Melbourne. Slight angle for Cam Rayner. This will be the first goal of the afternoon. And the Lions get it after 3.5 minutes. Brisbane 1-1-7, Adelaide yet to score.
It was really good work rate from Rayner. He was over the opposite side to where the ball got kicked into. And then as soon as he saw the turnover, Wilshka went straight back to the goal square and it ended up being 2-on-1. So it became a bit of it was an uncontested mark, but really good work rate. Really good work rate from Hipwood before too, on the other side to get that kick inside forward 50. So the forwards are on already.
Not a real good kick in either. He kicked it on his teammate's head out from fullback, and that kind of easy spoil. But Joey got it. Good kick, top of the square, and the Lions had the numbers. Cam, good mark, good goal.
So starting well, as requested by Jason Ackermanis. And Cam Rayner, he's got all of those explosive qualities, hasn't he, Acker? That's why you're so keen to see him involved early.
Absolutely, he does.
Back into the middle of the Gabba. McInerney double hands it down into the path of McLuggage. He just rumbles it forward another metre. Enter there, Nankervis. He dragged it in underneath. The Big O just basically all over him like a praying mantis, and he's going to come in and ball it up the umpire just on the front edge of the centre circles in favour of the Lions' end. McInerney down to Michael Lanny. Back to Nankervis to Laird by hand. Now over there to Murray. He lowers the eyes trying to find Fogarty on the lead. It bounced off his forearms into the arms of Lohman, through McLuggage, then Zorko. Zorko straight down the middle with a handball back to Lohman. Puts on the afterburners, handball to Hipwood. Back to Rayner, who dropped the put. Tackled now as he regathers. Was it high? Yes, it was.
Free kick. Silly. Shouldn't have dropped that. That was just a basic handball, fumble, but luck's a fortune, Pricey.
35 metres out, slide angle to the right. Cam Rayner will line up for his second.
And this is the thing about Cam. This is where, after 7 years in the system, these are the bread and butter type of goals he needs to kick. If he's going to spend more time forward, he needs to make the most of these ones.
Dare I be facetious and say the entire system needs to be better at its set shot goal kicking, Jason?
Oh, yes. I've said many times I'll go down for free. I'll help him, and it doesn't take long.
Won't be free for long. Rayner comes in from 35. He's got two in a minute. The Lions 2-1-13. The Crows yet to score. We've played nearly 6 minutes of the first term. ABC Sport on a Sunday afternoon. Michael Price, Quentin Hull with Jeff White and Jason Ackermanis.
What I've loved already from on the half-back line, there's been 2 turnovers from the Adelaide Football Club, just poor disposals. But the turnover from Brisbane hasn't gone wide. It's gone straight through the corridor, both times. Hipwood took one, hit the post, and then Rayner came through. But it was the hands as well. But just that kick on the half-back line to come back into the centre corridor, you can see they're really trying to own that space at the moment.
And that's the thing what Brisbane will do. If you try and get a spare behind the ball, you've seen what they've done the last 6-7 weeks, where they've just made the field really big and just chipped it around until you want to go man on man. Eventually, you have to do it.
The number 16 is up to 15 goals for the year. Cameron Rayner. Brisbane 2-1-0. Centre bounce is a good one. O'Brien gets the tap for Adelaide, but Neil does the roving for Brisbane. Booms a right foot kick forward for the locals. Lohman at the front of the pack. Knocks it down, does his own roving. He's tackled from behind by Hinge and loses the ball. Dowling has it for the Crows at half back. Hand passes to Berry. High kick, that's Sam of Adelaide. There's 2 Berries out there today. It's not quite picking season. Anyway, Walker's got it on the wing. There's Sam Berry. He got the hand pass and dropped it. Picked up by Archie of Brisbane on the wing. Hands it to Neil. Neil's hand pass is too wide for Fletcher and Lohman, who were looming near the boundary line at right half forward. It will be a throw in. Yes, so we have Sam Berry of Adelaide playing his 50th game, by the way, along with Josh Rochelle. A couple of mini milestones for the Crows. But Jared remains the elder of the Berries out there today, Pricey.
I heard what you did there, Q. Throw in, off hands, Mitch Hinge, former Lion, gathers. It's going to be a free kick. It's going to come back to Brisbane. It's going to go to Josh Dunkley. So he's 70 metres from goal, right half forward. He measures past Jasper Fletcher. 55 from goal. A quick kick, top of the square. Danaher the target, fisted away from him. Enter Ashcroft. Ball spills out there. Bruce Reville off the ground into the path of Neil. Neil kicks it. Lions with their third very quickly. 3-1-19. Crows yet to score. 8 minutes gone. First term here at the Gabba. Zane Bojak's on the boundary.
I tell you what, guys, not only has this been a very good start for the Lions, but it's also, they're looking sensational wearing their Indigenous home Guernsey. It's for NAIDOC week. Isn't it great that Charlie Cameron re-signs the same week that we're heading into pay tribute to all of our First Nations people. So they're looking fantastic and playing good footy as well.
I was trying to look for a matchup, and it looked like on that Benji throwing that Dawson was going with Neil, and then there was a changeover, and then Rankin went with him. Sensational work rate by Neil, just to run back into the forward line, then result of that goal. And then I've just seen Tex Walker go straight to the midfielders and gave him a big serve.
So he should. They deserve it.
Yeah.
Jeff White and Jason Ackermanis with you on ABC Sport. Now, Lachie Neale doesn't kick many goals for a man of his resume. That's just his 4th of the season. Bounces a bit errant. Ruckman both had a fair go at it, so the ump says play on. Clearance is going Adelaide's way. Soligo picks up, drives a deep ball to the hot spot. Spoiled away from Rochelle by Leicester. Ball on the ground. Berry comes in, that's Sam of Adelaide, to apply the pressure. He's got help there as well to lock up Wilmot. No clearance for the Lions' defence.
That's better.
And a ball up 45 from Adelaide's goal. Quickly thrown in the air. O'Brien taps it to the boundary line, but Andrews reads it for Brisbane. Clearing kick is intercepted. Keane takes the grab forward of the wing for Adelaide.
Little chip forward, finds a teammate there. There was Dawson, kicks it inside 50. Punched out of the hands of Wilmot by his teammate and Harris Andrews. Wilmot dives back on it and he's tackled. And the umpire will come in and ball it up. Murphy peels himself off Wilmot and the umpire will throw it up about 30 metres out from the Crows' goal. O'Brien, he got it down, but it's sharked there by Jasper Fletcher. Off a step, he kicks it up the corridor. Could have been front on contact to the Crows. Nothing doing. Front and square was Rayner. The umpire's been belted down too in the middle of the ground. Ball's been kicked to left half forward. Reville over the loam and inside 50. Charlie Cameron made it look a little bit more difficult than it might have been. Well done by Hinge to disrupt that as it's hacked out of there towards the outer wing. And Starcevic takes a nice defensive mark, peels it into the corridor to Dunkley.
Lays off a hand pass to Bailey, sells a dummy around an opponent, hand passes to Ashcroft, gathers 40 from goal, chips it to the pocket. There's space there. Rayner will gather fumble just before the line and fumble over the line for a boundary throw-in. Just a bit cute there.
They didn't need to do that. Thought he was under more pressure again.
Oh, there was 2-on-1, so you can see you just needed to give it a bit more elevation. It just would have set up otherwise.
Voices of Jason Ackermanis and Jeff White with you on ABC Sport. Boundary throw-in with Brisbane in attack, leading 3-1 to nothing. And plenty of pressure there. Dunkley applies a tackle on Dowling. The ump says no prior. And we'll see another stoppage. Crows in the left back pocket. Brisbane in the right forward pocket. Dunkley tries to rove the pack, fumbles, dives on it, has players dive on him. He somehow gets a hand pass out to Fletcher. Tackled and dropped at Rochelle. Good tackle, rewarded. No. Stoppage again. Have a go, Michael. Ball up. Brisbane still in attack. Leading 3-1, 19 to nothing. Getting close to half time at Docklands. Sydney 7-5, 47. Leads St Kilda 4-4, 28.
McInerney got it down. Sam Berry got the handball backwards. Dowling kicked it straight towards the boundary line. He's going to get pinged here. He is. 55 out, right half forward for Brisbane. Picked up by Fletcher. He traverses the arc and hits Wilmot 20 metres in. He's still 55 out, 45-degree angle to the right. Darcy Wilmot to the top of the goal square. McInerney the target, fisted forward there. 3 Crows, 1 Lion. The one was Charlie Cameron. It was thrown away by Rochelle. Picked up there by Dowling. Now they'll get it out through Michael Lanny to Murphy. By hand to Tex Walker, showing calm, the big Texan. From left half back, a long kick. McKenna battled his way into the contest, slapped it into the hands of Andrews to Dunkley, and a nice kick into the middle of the ground.
Bailey has a fumble though under late pressure from Rankin. Has to kick off the ground to half forward. Indiscriminate kick. Keane is tackled by Bruce. No prior. Ball up. The crowd don't know whether to go with the Bruce or applaud. He's locked there to force up a ball at centre half forward for Brisbane. O'Brien, nice tap down out the back to Cook, who'll get the clearance for the Crows. Kicks it to the attacking 50. Now McKenna took a bad knock there from the leading Nankervis. It's gone to the foot of the pack. Ump will come in and McKenna stays down.
He's in a lot of pain. He was coming back with a fight of the ball.
He might be winded, but I don't think he's concussed. He's just like that would have hurt the ribs.
Yeah, I reckon he's winded. He's just trying to suck it in now. He's right near the stoppage, so they can't.
Yeah, they've stopped play. Now we get a replay.
It looks pretty bad, but I actually don't think the... Oh, yeah, he got a little bit, but his head sort of hit the soft part of his opponent's body.
So play has stopped because he was in the area where the action's about to restart, and now he's up.
He was winded. So.
Yeah, and the umpire will resume play. Tosses it in the air in the middle of the ground. Neither ruckman with a telling touch. Dunkley's kick is semi-smothered. Ricochets to Berry of Adelaide. Hands it to Nankervis. Hands to Laird on the wing. Hands it back there to Dowling. His rush kick forward has kicked it to the opposite number 31. Andrews there to take the mark for Brisbane. And the reigning best and fairest at the Lions has got it at left half back. Brisbane 3-1-19. Adelaide yet to score on ABC Sport.
Adelaide can't do that. They can't afford to just do little dinky hand passes then a quick kick, because this is what's going to happen. Harris Andrews is going to have 14 intercept marks.
Well, he gave it to Connor McKenna, who recovered. His long kick was swallowed up there by Riley O'Brien down the line. He's at right half back for the Crows. Tries to find Fogarty, the leader Was fisted away from him by Harris Andrews. Front and square was Lock Neal. Handball back to Wilmot. He kicks it down the line, and that was a good contested mark taken again by the Irishman Keane. He flares it out wider to Himmelberg, the former local from Mount Cravat and Redland. Kicks it just 20 metres down the line.
I'm going to play my Riverina card. He's a boy from Wagga who spent some time in this part of the world, Pricey.
Oh, there you go. Riverina drinking game continues.
Exactly, yeah.
Tex Walker, long one towards the goal square, fisted forward. Adelaide with a chance at ground level, quickly swallowed up there. The player in Smith got a handball back out to Himmelberg. Origins unknown. He kicks it to the goal square. And it was nicely taken there by Connor McKenna.
If Michael Maguire or Billy Slater are looking at Himmelberg, it's sky blue, not maroon for him, even though he spent maroon time, so to speak. Crows have got it in the forward pocket. Oh, here's a chance, but near side miss from Braden Cook on the snap. He's kicked it behind. That's Adelaide's first score. It's taken them 15 minutes. Brisbane 3-1-19. Adelaide yet to score. Zeno?
Yeah, Connor McKenna, he was working over on the Texan at one stage, but 100 kilos, 192 centimetres, right into his ribs. He's thought that, oh, you know what, I'll go over and spend a bit of time on Fogarty now.
When you were chiming in from the boundary then, I thought you were about to say that any time in Queensland qualifies him for maroon. But you actually had some other footy information, Zana. Good on you.
Well played. State of origin. The fever for the decider is building. Don't worry about that. On the outer side, Lohman, the other Blondie and Ashcroft off the deck. It's collected by Danaher. Wheels around onto the left from 70 towards the goal square. Tracking back nicely was Brodie Smith. Beat Bruce Reville. Nice chest mark defensively, and he flares it to the left to find Cook.
I'll tell you who I haven't seen much of. The skipper. Cook's kicked that out on the full. What's Dawson doing?
He's trying to do a run with roll with Lockie Neal.
And at the moment, all he's doing is running and not gathering.
Yeah, he's not doing anything.
Leicester with the inbound mark by Ashcroft, 50 out. Plays on. Right boot from Ashcroft.
Oh, downfield. They'll call it downfield.
It misses. It's across the face. And, yeah, I missed that, Jeff. I was following the footy. Is this going to be a free kick in the goal mouth?
I think so, because of the...
Yep. So Ashcroft got offloaded by... It was Lockie Murphy who's given away the downfield free kick. Eric Hipwood, left footer in the left forward pocket, setting up for the non-preferred right-footed snap punt. Right near the point post. How's he go with it? Oh, he's lucky to score. Just curled it in for a point. And key forwards have got to be better than that. Sure. Haven't they, Jason? 3-2, 20-1 behind.
Do you remember when Darragh White kicked the torpedo from there? It went out, came through. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
He did, from that spot. No hooking around the corner.
Should Eric be better from there?
He should.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Smith plays on from the goal square for the Crows. That's a mighty kick towards the outer wing. Big pack, fisted forward by Brisbane. Well roved by Sam Berry for the Crows. Handball backwards to Keane at right half back. That's a lovely little, just a 9-9 to find his teammate. Smith's run a long way to gather that one yet again. Long kick down the line. Tex Walker got in front position in front of Payne. Took a lovely mark. Tried to put it into the corridor. Good attacking move. Well done by Butts. Gave it back to Laird. Inside 50. Big pack. Now roving it for the Crows. Front and square. Keys throws it onto the left foot and scores the first goal for Adelaide. The former Lion gets on the board for the Crows. 3-2-20. Plays 1-1-7. Nearly 18 minutes gone in this first quarter.
That was better. Even though Tex come at the ball really, really strong down the line, that's what they need. They need that presence. They don't want to get outmarked. But even though he stuffed the kick coming back in the middle, I like the way that they changed the direction there because all the other Lions defenders were in line with where he took that mark. So change it up. Got into a dangerous spot. Good finish by Keys.
Very scrappy, though, to get it there. Sort of no one really from Adelaide had a good run and jump at that. Just a spoil. Great crumb, great goal, mind you. But that said, they've got to get a little bit sharper with their forward entries. I just don't think the Adelaide forwards are working well enough.
I like that entry, though. I like that it's more direct, like what Brisbane's trying to do. You don't want to go to the boundary side.
Won't get far there.
Yeah, you won't get far.
Jeff White and Jason Ackermanis with you on ABC Sport. Brisbane by 13 points. Centre bounce and a clearance coming up for the Crows. Rushed inside 50. Bounces on the head of the goal kicker Keys. But that's punched over the boundary line by the Lions defence. And the two umpires on the field are looking at each other. And now they make a decision. Boy.
That was two different decisions.
Yeah. It is deemed insufficient intent, but there are two active umpires in that zone, and on this very grey area of the game, you've got two guys looking at the other person to make the call. Anyway, Keys gets the free kick in the pocket and he bananas it through for a brilliant finish. On his left boot, Ben Keys, former Queensland under-18 captain. He knows the Gabba well. And who would have thought he's on the brink of 100 consecutive games for the Crows. Wouldn't have thought that when he was essentially sent on his way from this list a couple of years ago. Adelaide needed it. 7 points is the difference. 3-2-20 to 2-1-13.
They got themselves back in this game. But that said, this is what I've been saying about, he got up there and, anyone that does that hits it towards the boundary. Obviously, when you're up in a spoiling contest, that's fine. You do that in similarly.
But it bounced up, didn't it?
It bounced up, yeah. It was just a general play spoil out. And anyway, I don't understand, Wilmot, how we get done for that, considering that every other time it's whatever.
Is it confusing for one umpire's called it throw in, and then the next one's overruled him.
That was poor.
There was whiplash between the two umpires looking at each other.
Well, one of them's the senior umpire, you know that. As it's slapped out of the hands of the ruckman into the arms of dances around, another clearance for the Crows. To right half forward, Himmelberg spoiled by Andrews for Brisbane. Roving Rochelle, handball back to Nankervis. He gets corralled, does well to get around a couple. Kicks it inside 50 to kick. Misdirected, and Jack Payne, the big arms from Noosa, takes a nice defensive mark.
Baywatch himself.
Baywatch is back, Jace. Short pass to McKenna, who's recovered from that earlier heavy knock. Kicks down the corridor to centre half back. Neil's the target, but he's outnumbered. Rochelle punches it clear of him. Picked up by the Crows with a high entry into the pocket from Brodie Smith. Doesn't have it forward underneath it. Bounces outside defensive 50 for Brisbane. Lohman gathers it right half back and spears it past to Hipwood. Marks on the wing. Took a step, is called to play on. Will do so now with his right boot. Kicks it to Danaher. Oh, good mark, Danaher. He got rid of his opponent Keane pretty easily.
He'll have a shot here.
Yeah,
Man on the mark is 55 out. What has Joe got from here? He's chewing that gum. The Mo's going up and down and left and right. He has a spit. He pulls up the socks. He is going for home from here.
This is where the player on the mark, Adelaide, he's telling the umpire he's got to get in line with the goal. He's not in line with the goals right now.
He'll have to clear 60. Gets onto his left boot. Doesn't kick for goal. Chips it to the top of the goal mouth. Intercepted there for the Crows by Keane. Mark not paid. Cleared off the goal line by Nankervis of the Crows. But right. Neil has risen in a pack of four to take a mark.
Good mark.
That was an indiscriminate clearance from Nankervis. And how did Lockie Neal find himself on a stat ladder in that pack?
He looked around. He wasn't sure what was coming. He thought, I better go here. And he did. He had a good jump and clunked it.
Rarely kicks a goal, lining up for his second goal.
Rarely takes a hang.
Yeah.
That was a good jump.
He's exploring new pastures. Who would have thought for a guy that's got two Brownlow medals? Straight in front, 45 out. Champs kick those. And he does for his second. Answers 2 goals on the trot for the Crows by kicking Brisbane's fourth. Lions back out by 13 at 4 goals, 2-26 to 2-1-13. It's half-time, by the way, at Docklands, and Sydney leads St Kilda scoreline there. The Swans 8-5-53 to the Saints 4-4-28 earlier today. A 9-goal win for the Demons. 17 goals, 10-1-12 over West Coast's 8-10-58.
I just love the setup that Lions had allowed. Midfielders didn't get sucked into. They were in a position where if the ball came to ground, they would be there front and centre. But if there was a quick kick, they were really set up defensively, and that's where Lockie Neal was there. And great mark and a good finish.
Yeah, super mark and I super appreciate it. And that's the thing, they're hemming them in. They've got them as they come out, but those quick kicks can go anywhere. Silly free, kick back into the corridor. It would be better to go towards the boundary.
So Dunkley's got 9 disposals for Brisbane. Neil with 8 and 2 goals. Top of the pops is Keane for the Crows with 7 disposals in defence. Now the clearance with Bailey. Nicely tackled, though could have been pinged for holding the ball. It's kicked off the deck. Ashcroft missed it. Nankervis slapped it into the path there of Hinge. He got it back, Nankervis. Then the no-look handball was exciting enough. Brodie Smith tripped over and taken high, pushed in the back, in fact. He will take the free kick at right half back, and he wants to go even further out wide. Finds his teammate there in Jordan Butts. just short of centre wing on the Stanley Street side of the ground with the Lions leading by 13.
Old Seymour.
Butts with a long kick towards right half forward. Himmelberg in the pack, couldn't take the mark. It's off hands and out of play.
See that? How's that? Is as deliberate as that one that, who was
Maybe a bit closer to the line.
No, I don't reckon that one's deliberate because he's going for the ball, but you got to spoil it.
Oh, Wilmot got started to do the exact same thing.
But that bounced up though.
Oh, wow.
Dawson's the only active Crow on the ground that hasn't got a stat at the moment. Scholl roves the pack at right half forward. Kicks to attacking 50. Walker, the target, can't mark. Ball on ground level. Zorko shovels it out for Brisbane to Wilmot. Puts a right boot to it from D50. Clearing kick as a hoper to the wing, which is made good by the lead of Hipwood. Marks the dipping ball on his chest, right on halfway out of side. Left foot kick from Hipwood is long into attack for Brisbane. 2-on-2, and Smith is there with Michael Lanny to ensure it goes out of play. And now everyone's saying any time a spoil goes out, they're calling for deliberate. The ump will throw it in. Zane Bojack on the boundary.
I just want to ask the experts, if Jordan Dawson hasn't got a stat and he's such a ball magnet and already Lachie Neale's kicked 2 goals, wouldn't you move him off the tagging role?
Oh, he's not tagging him. He's just playing very loose. He's actually on Dunkley in the last couple of stoppages.
Well, he's not doing that well with Dunkley as well because he's up to 9 disposals, and this clearance, it's going to go back to Dunkley, make that 10. Kicked inside 50 over the head of Hipwood. They've got a couple out here, the back there. Oh, it was Smith who gathered there for the Crows. Handball over the top there. Was hacked out of the play, and on the outer side, Berry gets spoiled by Himmelberg, and he's playing that second grab. He actually did well. Crowd didn't like it, but he sold it well enough to the umpire. Fair call.
Berry had a first hand on that one.
13 points is Brisbane's lead. Himmelberg kicks down the outer wing. Not a great kick. It pitches near the boundary and out of play. Walker was, I think, the target, but nowhere near him. Lester was closest to it, out of play, boundary throw in.
They're trying to do the rotation with Walker and Himmelberg. They're actually presenting really, really well. They obviously know that the key backs for Brisbane are very dangerous.
Brisbane 4-2-26, Adelaide 2-1-13. Getting late in this first term. Boundary throw in. Just forward of the wing for Adelaide. McInerney gets to hands and knees to win the clearance. Hand pass to Zorko, but he's tackled immediately. But no, that's Dunkley. Dunkley who was tackled by Laird. And now there's a line down away from the play.
That was Isaac Rankin.
Yeah, he got him flush off the ball though.
So free kick Brisbane and they play on. We'll dissect in a moment. Neale hands the ball around the boundary to Bailey. Hold on. He ran out of bounds. So what are we up to? Throwing out there. What happened before?
Starcevic was just coming. I don't know if he didn't expect it, but Rankin just shirt fronted him.
He's in a lot of play.
There's 3 attendants down there. Zane will keep us updated. So there's now a downfield free, which the Lions are chipping around. Went from Neale to Zorko to McCluggage, who's got it forward of the wing. And the umpires are now calling a halt to play because there's a stricken player on the field.
There's a stretcher. Blood.
Zane, what can you see from down there?
They ran straight to him. He didn't basically cue. He was on his front and then sort of turned himself on his back, and he has just been stricken the whole time, Brandon Starcevic. He's just not in a good way, and the medicos are really concerned. They actually signalled to the umpire. We're going to watch it here. It's basically just a hip and shoulder from Rankin into his chest, but it's done some damage, Brandon Starcevic.
Yeah, you can't do that. Not only that, Rankin's now on the bench he must have copped him in the chin, but he's got a cut. He's going down and getting some stitches by the looks of it. That's not good.
Was there anything wrong with Rankin's contact? First replay, it didn't look all that bad to me.
It was off the ball.
Apart from that, yeah. Apart from it being a free kick, was there anything wrong? Anyway, Lions kick the ball into attack as Starcevic is walking from the field. It's off hands and out of play. 13 points the lead to Brisbane. How's he look, Zane, walking to the bench?
I think there's real concussion issues, Q. I think the shock of it and the whiplash maybe's got him. But, Rankin's gone off to get some treatment. But I think Starcevic's going to have a HIA here.
So O'Brien slaps it down from the throw-in. It's just on the edge of the Lions 50, but the Crows with the numbers. Jordan Dawson, his first touch, off a step. Kicks it towards the outer wing. Fisted forward there by Wilmot. Nicely roved there by Murphy, who kicks it forward. And it's into space, though, inside 50. Big run back from Ryan Lester. Gathered nicely, the veteran. Then he's corralled. His kick is aggressive into the corridor. It's set a task for McCluggage. He couldn't pick it up. Crows in with a chance as Fletcher puts himself in. Tackled without the ball. Crowd gave you that, and it's going to be advantage paid. McCluggage gathers it right half back. Loops a handball over to Dunkley. Aggressive kick. Back into the corridor, finds Hipwood. He wants to wheel and go on that left foot. This is not the best kick. kicked it not to the advantage of Bailey, who did well. No, he didn't. He actually shepherded his opposite number 33 and Smith out.
That's not a free kick.
Well, it's on the board. The Crows have got it back into the corridor for Laird.
Kicks it to centre half forward. Himmelberg, late spoil from Dunkley. Free kick, chop of the arms.
It's getting a bit ugly out here, guys.
It just makes.
They've got four blokes out there in control of the game and looking at each other to do the job.
Yeah, they can't make a decision to save themselves.
Himmelberg chips it short. Here's Dawson. He's got a mark. He's got the boot from here. He's 55 out. Won't go for goal, will he? Sets it up deep to the goal square. Berry flies. Walker's in the pack. Neither mark. That was Sam Berry flying. Jared Berry punching it through for a point. Brisbane 4-2-26. Lead Adelaide 2-2-14. 29 and a half first term. Zane on the boundary.
Guys, I don't want to talk about the tackle itself, but I've been informed by Lions members that there's a bit of history between Rankin and Starcevic back from the Q Clash days.
Oh, well, it's promoted forward now into this particular game. Jared Berry bounced straight up the corridor. Danaher just forward of centre. Wheels it around left forward pocket. Archie flies against Hinge. Couldn't quite drag it in. Well rove by Laird. Handball over the top was cut off there by Archie, but it rebounds back into Laird's hands. He chisels a pass beautifully to Himmelberg. Now they're out here, the Crows. It's kicked up to right half forward. There's another chance of Scholl now. He gathers the left foot towards Taylor Walker, but cutting across the front. Zorko read it best. Takes a nice defensive mark.
That's where they're getting let down at the moment, the Crows, just at centre half forward.
2 goals, Brisbane's lead. 4-2 to 2-2, getting close to quarter time. Zorko kicks infield to McKenna. Dangerous kick to Hipwood at centre half back. Can't mark. He punched it back to McKenna. Strong tackle though. Oh, no. Not holding the ball. No pride. Dawson with the clamp there to lock it up. Good tackle on McKenna. Ball up. 40 from Adelaide's goal. Light starting to take effect. Bit of cloud around. It's been a gorgeous Sunday afternoon. Stoppage here with Adelaide at attacking 50. No clearance. Dawson there to apply another tackle. He's slowly getting into the game. He's applied the clamp there on Zorko, so it will be tossed up, same spot. Adelaide in attack. McInerney tries to fist it clear for Brisbane, but it's rode by Laird. Hand pass to Soligo. Kicks it wide to half forward for Murphy. Gathers on the bounce, 55 from goal. Left foot kick to full forward. Rochelle flew to the front of the pack. Should have marked it, dropped it. Roved by the Lions. Dunkley's clearing kick. Looks for Hipwood at half back. He's under pressure. Fletcher roves the crumb. Hands it to Bailey. Rides a tackle. Hands to Hipwood. They're out the Lions. Hipwood hand passes to right half back for McCluggage. Kick to the wing. Half volleyed by Archie, who's tackled ferociously by Hinge. Play on. Cavalry arrives. Nankervis gets high contact. Free kick to Adelaide on the wing.
Not netball umpire. He did everything to avoid his head then.
So Sam Berry just gets onto the logo, forward to Himmelberg, and there's the siren. The big unit was 60 from goal. The hoots of the Gabba crowd will give you that they're not happy, but the hometown does lead. 4-2-26 to 2-2-14. It's a 2-goal margin in what was a pretty scrappy affair the first quarter. Couple of goals to Lockneil for Brisbane and 2 to Cam Rayner. And for the Adelaide Crows, your 2 goal scorers, well, 1 goal scorer with 2. It's Ben Keys, the former Lion.
Rayner Chew, Neil Chew, Keys Chew. Brisbane 4 Chew. Adelaide choo-choo. 2 goals the margin at quarter time. Meanwhile, earlier today was a 9-goal win for Melbourne over West Coast at the MCG. The Demons, 17 goals, 10, 112 to West Coast's 8, 10, 58. Half-time at Docklands, Sydney, 8 goals, 5, 53. Leeds St Kilda, 4, 28.
That game's over.
Yeah, you reckon?
Oh, yeah.
You're not giving the Saints any chance?
No, they're the best at losing by like three goals, 2. You know, they'll come back and make it look interesting. Sydney will win that one.
Okay. Jason calling it. And he's not even there. Wow.
I'll just have a look at it before. They're too good, Sydney.
Yeah, okay. In the National Rugby League today, there are 2 games. The Roosters have defeated the Dragons. 42 points to 12, the final scoreline at the Sydney Football Stadium. Roosters 42, St George Illawarra 12. And in the nation's capital, at Canberra Stadium, the Raiders are taking on the Knights.
Oh, what, 1 degree?
I don't know what the temperature is in Canberra, but Newcastle lead the game. I can give that number. Knights 10, Raiders 6, getting close to half time there. Here it's Brisbane by 2 goals at quarter time. Sunday footy, the closer of round 17. You're hearing it on the national broadcaster, ABC Sport.
G'day, Patrick Stack here from ABC Sport Daily. If you love sport...
Well, so much of it is just frustration and expectation and the drought for a major trophy that dates back to 1966.
And great conversation.
I think as soon as I got to sort of a social age, I really kind of took that as my identity, was the baseball kid.
Then you'll love ABC Sport Daily.
He had this incredible talent and the world at his feet.
ABC Sport Daily. Get it on the ABC Listen app.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Through to half back and his kick's turned over. Danaher steals it 50 out on the boundary. Kicks to the goal mouth and there he is, Jace. Cam Rayner. Slight angle for Cam Rayner. This will be the first goal of the afternoon. And the Lions get it after 3.5 minutes.
To Lohman. Puts on the afterburners. Handball to Hipwood. Back to Rayner who dropped a foot. Tackled now as he regathers. Was it high? Yes, it was. Rayner comes in from 35. He's got 2 in a minute. A quick kick, top of the square. Danaher the target, fisted away from him. Enter Ashcroft. Ball spills out there. Bruce Rebill off the ground into the path of Neil. Neil kicks it. Lions with their third very quickly. Inside 50. Big pack. Now roving it for the Crows. Front and square. Keys throws it onto the left foot and scores the first goal for Adelaide. The former Lion gets on the board for the Crows.
Rushed inside 50. Bounces on the head of the goal kicker Keys, but that's punched over the boundary line by the Lions defence. And the two umpires on the field are looking at each other. And now they make a decision. Boy, it is deemed insufficient intent. You've got two guys looking at the other person to make the call. Anyway, Keys gets the free kick in the pocket and he bananas it through for a brilliant finish. On his left boot, Ben Keys, former Queensland under-18 captain. He knows the Gabba well. Cleared off the goal line by Nankervis of the Crows. But Neil has risen in a pack of 4 to take a mark.
Good mark.
Straight in front, 45 out. Champs pick those. And he does for his second.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Highlights from the first term at the Gabba. Nice to have your company at the Brisbane Cricket Ground. Quentin Hull and the team in place. Lions 4-2, Crows 2-2. And among the storylines outside of the scoreline for the first quarter, Brandon Starcevic and Isaac Rankin are both off the ground at the moment after Rankin aggressively bumped Starcevic off the ball. Rankin's got a blood issue to attend to. Starcevic, well, I'm not 100% sure, but usually we go to the experts here. That's part of the storyline. Let's get some more info. Zane Bojak's closer to the action. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Rankin's back, Hugh. He's actually in the quarter time huddle. He looked like he had some Vaseline put on that injury, so he's good to go. But I'm still waiting to get an update on Starcevic. But it was quite a hit off the ball, wasn't it? But I think it was all legal. Great to see a bit of rivalry between these two sides.
Yeah, I think it'll get into the rough conduct area if the match review wants to look at it. Meanwhile, earlier today, Melbourne beat West Coast by 9 goals, as I was saying, and to make things worse for Eagles fans, they haven't had much good news the last couple of years. Jeremy McGovern's been taken to hospital for scans on a potential rib or lung issue. So
didn't he have that? Well, it's come back a long time ago, but he had that in the grand final, didn't he? There was a lot of internal sort of stuff he had.
Yeah, and thinking of the D's and Christian Petrarca was the last to go to hospital with a rib/lung injury.
Yeah, he had another operation today.
Appendicitis, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For Petrarca.
I was just thinking about that one with Rankin. I remember one day we were playing West Coast here and Daniel Kerr was coming and I owed him one, so I went up and just bumped him. But as I bumped him, my sort of head had hit his head and I got the scar because of it. And
Did you get nothing? Did you get time?
Hell no. I just got stitches. 20 years ago. It's embarrassing.
But that's what Rankin was trying to do, was just to check. I know it was off the ball, but they set that when they're trying to position around that.
Yeah, you're right. And Mitch in the studio has confirmed your thoughts there about the history of
There is
McGovern.
a fair bit of verbal, gentlemen, out in the centre prior to this bounce. Lockie Neal's into Rankin. The Big O just went up and gave Rankin a gobful.
So
Rankin gave it back too, just quietly.
It's Rankin watch a bit. Let's get into this second term. Brisbane lead by 2 goals.
Let's see what the umpire does. Rankin's up against Lockie Neal. That'll be interesting. O'Brien gets it down for the Crows. McCluggage pinches it to Dunkley. Handball to Berry, now off to Neil at the back of the stoppage, wheeling around onto his right leg.
Here he is.
Kicks it towards the outer wing. Charlie with his first touch of the footy. Just forward to centre wing on the Stanley Street side of the ground, the outer side. He kicks it inside 50. Oh, that's a good defensive mark. Dropping back and taking that Nankervis in the left back pocket for the Crows.
Kicks it across the face of goal. And
isn't he rising in stats?
Murray takes the mark at full back.
Is Starcevic on the field? It says here he's on the field.
Okay, I'm following the footy, Jace.
I'll have a look for him.
Yep. Murray with a kick to a pack at left half back. The 2 number 8s lock it up. Rochelle tackles Ashcroft. So it will be a ball up at right half forward for Brisbane, left half back for Adelaide.
They've taken him off here. Yeah, that's all right. He's now off now.
Off the stoppage. Spillage won by the Crows. Scholl hands it on there to Michael Annie. Boundaries close out of play. And we'll see it thrown in.
And that's the improvement, though, from Adelaide. Sligo, and, he's just stepped up. He was a different player. Hinge. These are the guys that really are playing much better footy. Don't worry about Rankin. He's a star, but that's what they need.
Throw in, right half forward for Brisbane. O'Brien versus McInerney. Roving at Dunkley. Handball back to Bailey. Tackled well. He just got his foot to it. Nicely taken by Rochelle. At centre half back, he has a bounce, goes straight down the corridor, then flares it out to right half forward. He put it into the path there of Cook, who did well to get there in front of Harris Andrews, but Harris tackles him beautifully into the ground. Good contest between the two.
You can't question their intensity at the moment from Adelaide.
No, they're always good. I told you, the Terminator, I think Starcevic is off. He's been ruled out. I think they're going to put Logan in. Bo will tell us.
Yep. Stoppage at right half forward for Adelaide, but Neil roves the crumb, hands it to McCluggage, hands it on to Wilmot, hands it to Bailey. They run it through half back. Hand pass to the wing for Archie. Takes on the tackler. Got his legs taken there by the tackle of Murray. Play on. It's an Adelaide ball. Laird with a 1-2 hand pass exchange with Dawson. Now it's handed to the wing for Cook. Cook hands it to Nankervis. Nankervis chips, looking for Himmelberg, but the fist of Andrews thumps it out of play for a throw-in. Let's get to Zane Bojack on the boundary.
Yes.
Sorry. Harris Andrews, he's okay. He was running back to position and he tumbled over and did a somersault. Sorry, Zane.
No, Stas has been officially subbed out with concussion, guys, so it was a serious issue with him, and that's why he was on the ground for so long.
Logan Morris on the ground now for the Lions as well, the youngster. Short throw in, just did not give the ruckman any chance. Went around the feet of Himmelberg. He kicked it forward. Now it's at ground level. That could have been a free kick to Neil. Nothing doing. Cook did beautifully. He extracted the ball but then cut off his handball. Did Neil. It was promoted forward to Barry Jarrod. He put the handball inboard the corridor. Bailey measured a kick towards Charlie Cameron. He's got the break on Michael Annie. He gathers it now. 55 out. He burnt Joe. Joe was 25 metres in front of him calling for it. Charlie's had a flying shot from 55, kicked it out of bounds on the full. Wasted opportunity for the Lions.
Jared Berry's limping in back play as well. Short entry, misses the target of Murray. Stolen by the Lions. Snap on goal from Danaher is a point. It's happening all over the place here. Score check. Brisbane, that's the first score of the quarter. They lead by 13, 4-3-27 to 2-2-14.
So the Crows, they're putting the fight up to Brisbane. Long entry there, looking for Tex Walker a long way down and fisted away from him over the boundary line by Harris Andrews.
That is not the Lions have butchered the ball going in a couple of times. They've had blokes out. Charlie just missed that one. Joey should have just kicked it to Rayno. Went long in the first quarter. They just got to be a bit better, a bit tidier.
Throw in right half forward for Brisbane. O'Brien, beautiful tap down to Rankin through the stoppage. He's going to get the booze all day now. He gathers. It's a measured kick towards the wing. Well done by Wilmot against Jordan Dawson. He won the ball, handball forward to Dunkley, then by hand to McCluggage, again through Ashcroft. They're running in numbers. Now Lockneil confronted the handball inside 50. Was a dodgy one to Danaher who made it look good. He got it back to the Big O. Inside 50, a 2-on-1. The Crows spoil. They can't quite gather at ground level. Brisbane, well done Rochelle who did, but his handball turned it over to McKenna. He puts it inside 50. It was a great kick, Whitey. It found Charlie Cameron 30 metres out, 45-degree angle to the left.
He's nearly better at around the corner kicks.
Well, I'm just wondering, is he going for the straight kick here, Charlie?
Oh, sorry, I meant McKenna's better at
right.
the corner. Charlie should just kick the damn ball straight. That's what he should do.
Well,
we're right behind it here in the commentary box. It's a straight drop punt. 45-degree angle to the left, and he should just be aiming for the area above the goal umpire's head.
As far as a path to a country road, it's as smooth as it gets, isn't it?
Oh, well, especially on the Bruce, if you look at it, that's a shocker. Lucky to hit foot, and it gets towards the forward pocket. Double grabber almost claimed there. It was the big...
This is a re-signed two-time All-Australian small forward. Does not make the distance from 35 metres with a set shot.
That was ordinary.
And not online either.
Umpire throws it up and McInerney slaps it over the boundary line. I'll venture to say, lads, the first few minutes of this second quarter is not one for the archives. This is very scrappy and intense.
And you know what? There's a time where there's pressure and it's scrappy. This is on the scrappy end of the spectrum here.
Throw in Brisbane in attack. Tap back boundary side. Adelaide's ball off Schultz. Handball's too hot for a teammate. Stolen by Neal. His hand pass too hot for Bailey. It ricochets back to Lockie Neal. In the pocket, he creates some space. And among the scrap, the class comes to the fore. Lockie Neal never kicks multiple goals. He's got 3 already.
Outrageous.
3 goals for Lockie Neal, and Brisbane lead by 19 points at 5 goals, 33 to 2-14.
Most of the crowd would have missed a couple of super sharp handballs there where Lockie actually nearly set up. I think it was Bailey, ended up coming out to him. Bailey just couldn't grab it, but luck's a fortune. But then again, little left, little right, chucked it on the slipper and third goal.
Now, his best is 4 goals in a game. That was back in 2017.
Whitey did that in a quarter, didn't he?
Zane on the boundary.
Yeah, Isaac Rankin's come back to the bench. They might have to put some extra security around here. The Lions fans are not happy with him, I tell you.
So Neal's never kicked 4 as a Lion because he kicked those 4 in his Dockers day. So he equals his Lions best with 3 goals.
He's had 16 possessions, 10 contested, 4 clearances and 3 goals so far. Dunkley's had 18 disposals to beat him, though, for the Lions. Now they get the clearance here. Rayner gets it back now to Lock Neal at the back of the contest. Again, he flares it out to the wing. He puts it into the path of Bruce. Crowd gets involved as he tries to measure a kick. Went over the head there of Zorko. He crashed into Saligo over the boundary line. He loves to add a bit of mustard to everything, does Zorko, and it goes over there. Right half forward for Brisbane.
I've just double-checked. He's never kicked 3 as a Lion, Lockie Neal. He's only ever done it 4 times previously, all in Dockers colours.
Both he and Dunkley off the chain here. The Crows have to get involved with that. Off hands now, Nankervis. He tries to measure a kick back towards the boundary line to Saligo, but Bruce Reville gets involved, knocks it over the boundary, and once again we'll get a throw in between the wing and right half forward for Brisbane. They're leading this one by 19.
It's just the way they're setting up, Q. The Adelaide are getting that number behind the stoppage, which is freeing up those boys.
Give that one to O'Brien at ruck time. Roved by Keys, tackled by Fletcher. Got a hand pass free, doesn't find a target. It's on the deck in the middle of the ground. Picked up by the Crows. That little hand pass from Dowling sent his teammate in immense pressure. And holding the ball against Mitch Hinge. It'll be a free kick to Hugh McCluggage at centre half back for Brisbane.
That was a good year, Hugh.
Yeah, natural light slowly ebbing away here on this Sunday. Short pass from McCluggage to Lester. Played every game, Ryan Lester, this season. Kicks across half back to Ashcroft, kicks it to the wing. It bounces for Andrews. He's got time though. Himmelberg comes at him. He then chips the ball, Andrews, to Jared Berry on the wing. Sam Berry marks for Jared Berry. And the chip pass is punched out of play. Good spoil from Hinge on Lester. So, Berry on Berry.
A bunch of them.
My creativeness is just searching for something better than that, but maybe you can have a go at pricing.
Oh, well, all I've got is one's from Mafra and the other one's from Warrnambool. So there you go. Played for North
Country
Colorado.
berries.
Fruit salad?
Country, yummy. Throw in. Commentary box side. McInerney. Oh, once again, Samberry gets involved, though. Rips it out of the big man's hands. He gave it by hand back to Jordan Dawson. His kick cut off there by Fletcher. But once again, Samberry, front and square, tackled by Jared. And so we'll have a ball up. Commentary wing, the Vulture Street side of the Gabba. The Lions by 19 points. The two big units go up again. The big O for Brisbane toes it forward. Rayner by hand to McCluggage. Inside 50, Joe presents, spoils. Lions with numbers at the base. Logan Morris, handball back to Joe from 50. It's a wobbler. It's out of bounds on the full. And it'll be a free kick, and it'll go to Murray. in the left back pocket for the Adelaide Crows, defending grimly.
Nick Murray. Third game of 2024. He's had his issues with his knees, and here in the left back pocket, kicks Adelaide back into play. Long ball to a 2-on-2. Himmelberg knocks it on. Ashcroft, though, first to meet it at the Rove. Right to tackle from Sam Berry. Hand pass is stolen, though. Murphy taken off it by Fletcher. No free kick. Murphy dives in and wins it anyway for the Crows. Hand passes to Scholl. Kicks a grubber around the outer wing. Fogarty was there, but it bounces for Walker. Walker hand passes it on to Cook. Cook hands it back to Fogarty. He's inside 50. He swears up and misses his target. Jared Berry comes from fullback to win the ball for Brisbane. Bangs a long ball to the middle of the ground. Roved by Logan Morris of Brisbane. Chips inside 50. Oh, Loman had a look, missed the mark. Roved by Cameron. Cameron snaps and misses to the near side. No country roads.
Post.
It's 5-4-34 to 2-2-14, and the Denver Nazis back at the Gabba.
No country road for you.
Both sides going inside forward 50.
Just butchering it.
Oh.
Michael Annie to Rochelle at left half back. That's a long kick. It's a beautiful kick. Good lead from Tex Walker. He gathered. Kick inside 50. It was a big fly there from Fogarty on the top of Payne. He brings it down. Went and got it himself. He's on the arc of 50. Handball back to Walker. 60 metres out towards the top of the square. Jared Berry, front and square Rochelle. He gathers. He's going to have a pingy handball there. Backwards to Scholl, who kicked it to the top of the square. Oh, crunch numbers. Picked up by Keys. He has another ping. That's 3 for Ben Keys. Crowd give him the boos here at the Gabba. The former Lion laughing all the way to the bank. 5-4-30 for the Lions. And the Crows 3-2-20. 14 points the margin, 12 gone, second term.
They've simply got more numbers to the contest then, Adelaide, and their energy's there, their intensity's there. They just need to have a little bit more poise when they're going forward, and it was a bit scrappy there, but great finish by Keys.
Zane Bojak on the boundary.
Oh, Pricey, I tell you what, laughing all the way to the bank, and he's great too because he's got Keys, Ben, so he can get into the vault.
Nice.
He really, it's funny, he's arguably got the most interesting hairdo of any player in the AFL, Ben.
Why would you say that, Jake?
Well, I mean, that's like a mafia look, you know, you've got the hair that's going up. It looks like half a wave.
It's got a Peaky Blinders go about it, you think?
But, you know, he's had a couple of good years too, so good to see him. 3 goals, along with Loggie Neal.
You would have got 100 to 1 about him captaining the Adelaide Football Club when he finished up here in Brisbane, and that's, of course, what he's done. He equals a career best of 3 goals. Centre bounce, Brisbane lead it by 14 points. Dunkley with the clearance to half forward. Scholl gets in the way to mark for Adelaide.
They're showing some good signs here, Adelaide.
Yeah, they're doing their bit, aren't they, Jeff? It's a scrappy but tight start to this one. Short pass backwards to Michael Annie. Short pass forwards to Sam Berry. Marks at centre half back. Hands it to Butts. Butts hands it on to Smith. Smith gives it back. In fact, it was Murray running off the back line there. Long kick from Murray from the wing inside 50, and Andrews is going to run it over the boundary line.
Well, what they've tidied up is the ability to use the ball. A bit more ball protection. Instead of just getting it hand pass and kicking it long and putting it in the hands of the Brisbane defenders, they're now using the ball a bit more going forward.
So 21 inside 50s to 18 in favour of Brisbane, but Brisbane leading by just the 14 points. Throw in, right forward pocket, comes through the hands there of Big O'Brien, gathered by Laird to Rochelle now from 45 on an angle. His left footer to the top of the goal square. The big Texan, will he claim it?
Yeah.
Will they give it to him? They should.
Yeah.
He got his hands to it, the big clunk from the big man at the top of the goal square. Now he is number 31 on the all-time goal kickers list with 631 goals, Tex Walker. The man above him, Brisbane Lions, Alistair Lynch, number 30 on 633. So he only needs 2 goals today to equal that mark.
Remember though, Lynch, he did go down the fullback for many years.
It's a good point. Tex Walker from point-blank range kicks another one for the Crows. 5-4-34, plays 4-2-26. It's only an 8-point ball game with 14 and a half of the second term.
They've raised it. They've lifted their intensity. They're using the ball with the hands. They're cutting up the defence. They're getting rewarded for their intensity. And they brought that halfway through the first quarter. They were second to the ball. Now they've lifted their intensity and they're getting their reward.
They are, and that's good mark again. But This is the thing about Adelaide. As I said at the start, they are like the Terminator. They just keep coming. Even if you get a little lead, they'll work their way back into it and find a way back. They've just been a bit cleaner too. But that said, Tex Walker, been a star for a long time. Good to see. Good mark, good goal.
Swans by 4 goals at Docklands over the Saints, getting late third term there. 9-10-64 to Sydney. St Kilda is 6-4-40. Jason reckons it was over at half time. The bounce is wobbly, will be recalled. No fair chance for Danaher to contest against Himmelberg there. Went straight to Himmelberg. So it will be tossed up in the middle of the ground. Thrown in the air. Oh, umpire goes down. Hold on. What happened to the ball? So there was another umpire close who gave Lockie Neal a free... No, gave Danaher a free kick.
Oh,
Danaher has shanked that to attacking 50. Lohman the target. It's fisted away from him. Crows there at the spoil. Well, half a chance for Dowling. Each tackle took too long. Holding the ball. Lohman was the tackler for Brisbane. And Billy Dowling is penalised.
It's sort of funny because he just got the arm up, ended up getting a ricochet off the ball, and then went back to his opponent and then made the good tackle. Didn't get it away in time, and there you go. He's a good kick, this player, Lohman. I really like him.
Played every game so far this year, Jason. He has 18 goals. Crows have kicked the last 2. Lohman, not much of an angle to speak of, but he'll have to clear 50 metres. Lays his right boot into it. Distance not the problem. He is a fine young player, but that is just to the left. And a minor score. 9 points to lead to Brisbane at 5-5-35 to 4-2-26. You're listening to ABC Sports Sunday Footy, 17 minutes second term.
Hinge brings it back in, finds Murray. Had to skid down there to get it. At right half back, still inside, defensive 50. His kick was a mare. It was cut off by Charlie Cameron. It missed the target altogether. Cameron takes the mark. He'll have to kick this 155, 45-degree angle to the left, but it was an awful kick from Nick Murray, not one he'd want back.
You can see that the message at quarter time was to try and use the ball a bit better, but sometimes you've just got to pull the trigger and kick it down the line.
Well, Charlie couldn't get it from 35. How's he going to go from 50?
That's a very good point, Jason Ackermanis. He comes in. He will release from just on the arc. Slices off the right side of the boot to the pocket. Fisted down there. Rory Laird tries to bang it through. It's picked up there by Murray. He skies one. It's still inside 50. Slap forward. Rayner overruns it. Picked up by Dunkley. Has a flying shot. And it's scrappy, but it's another goal to Brisbane. The pressure got to the Crows there. The Lions 6-5-41 plays 4-2-26. Back to a 15-point margin with 18 gone in this second quarter on ABC Sport.
With his 20th possession and still 10 minutes to go in this quarter, he's kicked his first goal for the day. Dunkley.
That's the problem with that. They don't tag, and you can get a lot of touch.
How clean was he off the ground to pick it up?
He's super clean. He's he's really had a good sort of 5-6 week patch too. He's been a real key for them getting back in this competition. That said, that's as ugly as you'll find him a shot on goal, but just tumbling forward.
Charlie Cameron is kicking for goal like Rory McIlroy putts late in the major.
Well, he does have more majors, but I tell you, Charlie's a better kick than that. But we've got goals out of Lockie Neal and Dunkley, and just shows you it's so good when your team has midfielders kicking goal at the best of times, but that's just a bonus.
It's certainly something they've discussed, isn't it, Q? Midfield scoreboard pressure.
Yep.
They need that.
And Dunkley makes it a 15-point lead. Centre bounce. McInerney taps down brilliantly to Neal. Neal kicks inside 50. There's a lion down before the ball arrives. It's Callum Archie. Nick Murray's given away the free kick. And Archie will... Is it going to...
He would.
Well, I saw
Archie should have got it.
Okay.
That's the best centre clearance they've had all year.
So Hipwood's got the free kick about 10 metres further away, but still 35 out directly in front. Eric Hipwood, among the triumvirate of frustrations for Lions fans wanting better conversion from their key forwards. What's a triumvirate of frustration called, I wonder?
I know.
Anyway, Hipwood hasn't kicked a goal this afternoon. Left foot, that's good. He's kicked that one. Brisbane with 2 in a row, and that's a game-high lead of 21 points for the locals at 7-5-47 to 26. There's only 2 goals in that game at Docklands that Jason reckons is over.
Go to
I told you, they just lose by 3 goals to
Sydney 9-10-64 to St Kilda's 8-4-52. Zane Bojack on the boundary.
Got a couple of suggestions for you, Q, for the triumvirate of frustration. Could you call it a strangle or maybe even a choke?
There's a lot of options there from Zane.
That was a good finish.
I was just watching the replay, that centre bounce. Lockie Neal came from a long way away to wrap around behind McInerney. He hit it with his opposite hand behind his head towards Lockie Neal. Great set play, and their best centre bounce of the year.
If you've just joined us, Brandon Starcevich bumped out of the game by Isaac Rankin. That'll be a talking point.
Here's another clearance for the Lions through Dunkley. He pokes it to left half forward. Hipwood beaten to the ball there. And it was really well played there by Keane, who kept going. His kick wasn't as good after a couple of bounces. Oh, Rankin beat Wilmot point blank. Looped a handball over to Fogarty, who laced out Himmelberg, 25 out, directly in front. And that's straight off the back of some Isaac Rankin brilliance.
That was a beautiful one-on-one contest there.
There was a little bit of a fumble from Wilmot. That's what he's got to get better at. But when you're on a player like Rankin, he doesn't need an inch, let alone a fumble like that, but very classy. That said, it was a little bit too easy in the end, bounce off halfback. He should kick this, though. They need it.
Elliot Himmelberg, good for a goal a game. 46 goals in 46 games. He comes in and pokes it straight through. That's good from the Crows. They edge a little closer, back to 15 points. The Lions 7-5-47 to the Crows 5-2-32 with 21 and a half gone.
He's been a good focal point this game already. Him and Tex Walker, they're both going for the marks. Their work rate is exceptional. But even the four, Hipwood and Danaher, the key forwards today, their work rate's been great.
What about Fogarty? Like, his legs are like dead set tree trunks. They are huge. And I just noticed also in the middle, they just push Dawson out to the wing, give a bit of a better matchup. It looks like Lockie Neal might have a little bit more of a tag, although he's probably the wrong one to be tagging, because I think Dunkley is doing a hell of a job. That said, he has got 3 goals, Lockie.
Jason Ackermanis with you on ABC Sport. Jeff White alongside him in the experts chair. Quentin Hull and Michael Price calling the action at the Gabba. Tight one this, 15 points the lead to Brisbane. McInerney, great tap down on McCluggage.
Free
Again,
kick.
a whistle. At the stoppage, who's getting the free kick? McCluggage. Oh, no, hold on. Yeah, it's McInerney's. So even the players don't know who's getting the free kicks these days.
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing, these umpires.
McInerney, centre of the ground. So it was a ruck infringement, not a hold off the stoppage. High ball inside 50 on Rayner's head, punched away by the Crows' defence. Rode by Ashcroft, he's tackled but got rid of it. Saligo applies the next clamp, that's on Dunkley. Ball up, centre half back for the Crows. Centre half forward for Brisbane. Tossed in the air. McInerney, clean possession over O'Brien. Indiscriminate hand pass. Dawson wins it for Adelaide. Hand pass out the back to Keane. Rush clearing kick to the wing. It's spoiled away from Fogarty by Payne. Picked up by Fletcher. Hands it to Wilmot. Hands it to Zorko. Chip to the pocket. On the head of Ashcroft. Fisted away. Ball on the deck attacking 50 for Brisbane. Fletcher had it. Couldn't pick it up under the pressure from Michael Annie. And the umpire will come in for a ball up.
Players wonder why they get hurt. If you fumble, you always get hurt.
Umpire throws it up. McInerney slaps it into the path of Neal. He's going to gather on the arc against the boundary line. He kicks it to the top of the square. High flies in Rankin, and Archie. He's claimed it on the second grab. Cal Archie. I reckon everyone had shares in that. Don't worry about it, but it's a mark. 20 out directly in front.
See, what about Cam Rayner? Had a jump and the hang, and I reckon he had first touch, but that said, Calab-Chi won't care. He will just kick the goal.
There were plenty of hands on that, but he sold it beautifully, did Calamachi. He's going to line up directly in front to extend this Lions lead yet again. Comes in and drills it straight through to the roars of the Gabba crowd. 21 points the margin yet again. 8-5-53, plays 5-2-32 with 24 and a bit gone in the second quarter.
Another good set play there.
Yeah.
McInerney hit it out into space.
Lockie Neal on the left, though. Not usually his cup of tea, but good centering kick.
Great centering kick, but just the ability of McInerney to actually get a fist on it, get it out of that centre, all the mids are clustered in and around. Got his left hand, great hit.
Absolutely.
But when going forward to centre, just use it as you got brilliant mids. Just use his attacking way. Make sure you've got the sweeper as a defender, but get someone running. It just creates space, and it was a great set play.
Matty Nix will be at the midfield to try and get something out of them and trying to get some clearances here. They have been well beaten all night.
Levels a game-high lead for Brisbane. Clearance status actually only +3 to Brisbane. There's another messy bounce in the middle. Up lets it go as Laird comes through to rove the contest. Hand pass to Dawson, hand pass to Smith. They're at centre-half back. Rush kick to the wing. Fletcher leads Cook to the ball. Neither can take the mark. Roved on the deck by Dowling of Adelaide. Hand pass to Berry. Hand passes back to Cook. Hand pass to Rochelle at right half forward. Nice movement. Here's the kick to the pocket, and Rankin gets in the way of the Walker lead to mark. Gee, that was a brave move.
Oh.
Rankin takes the grab, and it looked like Tex was about to run through him.
I reckon Walker helped there. I thought he knew he had his defender behind him, just got in between him and Rankin because he knew that Rankin was the free man.
And this is the thing about Rankin. These are the type of goals he can kick, mind you. He is a star. He's certainly playing way better since he's very good at the Suns, but he's at another level here in Adelaide.
Hard on the boundary, 40 metres out. Isaac Rankin with his right boot. Oh, that is a precise piece of Australian football brilliance. What a skill. What a finish. What a player. Isaac Rankin. Just what the Crows needed 26 minutes into the second term. A finish of absolute class from the pocket. It makes the margin 15 in favour of Brisbane at 8-5-53 to 6-2-38.
It's like a Tom Hawkins special, isn't it? A little fade.
Yeah, just
from that right pocket.
Yeah, just a little left to right, but that's how good he is, and that's the thing about him. Doesn't need a lot of space. He's except for the incident with Starcevic, which you will get a fine for, no doubt. But that said, they need him to kick more than one goal, but he's starting to look dangerous.
You reckon that's only a fine, Acker? The Rankin on...
yeah, he was... I don't know, the AFL, they probably suspend you for 10 weeks for that these days, but yeah, he should just... Maybe a week, maybe a fine.
Go off with concussion. I reckon it might be more than that, my friend. Umpire throws it up in the middle. O'Brien toes it forward, though, for the Crows. It's nicely picked up there by Jared Berry. Sold a big dummy, did a U-turn, kicked it straight down the middle towards Joe Danaher, who faded towards the back of the pack, roved by Neil. Handball back to McCluggage. McCluggage off a step towards the goals. It bounces through for one behind. 54 plays 38. It's a 16-point margin now in favour of Brisbane with 27 gone.
That's the thing though, Pricey. If he didn't get concussed, that same action gets nothing.
Keane with the inbound. Oh, he's missed his target down the middle. He was looking for Michael Annie. Lucky Rochelle was there. Gives it by hand to Michael Annie. Hands it to Rankin, defensive side of the bullseye. Chips laterally to Dawson. Marks it on the edge of the centre square for Adelaide. Plays on with a hand pass to Smith. The Crows looking a little better. Hand pass to the wing for Dowling. Dowling with a high, deep kick to full forward. 2-on-2 contest. Fisted away from the big forwards. Rode by Ashcroft to Brisbane. Hand pass to Wilmot. Wilmot's hand pass stolen. Sam Berry's got it. Wilmot tackles him. Ball comes free. Play on. Hand pass from Cook. Looking for Rankin. They've lost it. Cameron a chance for Brisbane at left half back. Cook tackles him. Cameron gets the hand pass to Fletcher. Rush clearing kick though. Straight to Michael Annie of Adelaide. Who'll set up forward of the wing.
He goes back into the corridor to Laird. Laird forward to Sam Berry. 60 from goal. He settles it down just about... Well, every player on the paddock's forward of halfway. So he goes back towards the centre circles to find Mitch Hinge. He's in a fine vein of form as well as he kicks it straight down the middle. Spoiled by O'Brien on Payne. The mark was paid to Jack Payne at the front position. I thought O'Brien got enough of it, but never mind. The right back pocket now. It's Berry who receives it and slows everything down yet again. Very cramped game. There's not a lot of room for anybody out there as Darcy Wilmot receives now. Still just short of centre half back inside his defensive 50, and he flares it out wider to the left to Payne. Payne now back to the arc to find Fletcher.
This is the first time Brisbane's played its keepings off inside their own half, Jeff.
Yeah, and it's good defence by Adelaide. They were attacking. They've been attacking really, really hard, but this is good to see. They're pushing up and they're forcing them to chip.
Yeah, this is the stuff that the Lions have been really doing a lot of recent times. There's 5 or 6 of them. It's fantasy football at the moment and nothing more. Payne's like that. There's been about 6 kicks and marks. Payne's got it forward of the left back pocket,
and they haven't gained any meters at all.
Short pass to Neil, forward of full back.
Just forcing that spare to come up. And then what they'll do, though, is they'll find a spare and they'll get you out and then off they go.
Now, Hipwood's worked really hard to lead for the exit kick. Gets a free kick for... Oh, no free kick. Whacked over the ear. Play on. Ashcroft Road. Rankin tackles him holding the ball. Free kick Adelaide. Rankin plays on with a hand pass to Laird. Hands it to Dawson. 50 out. Runs around 1 and 2 opponents. Has the hand pass backward to Nankervis. Off a step. Chips it to full forward. Himmelberg meets it with his chest. And the man from the Riverina via southeast Queensland playing for Adelaide at the Gabba will have a shot for the Crows.
That's really good play by the Crows because they knew immediately that Brisbane had gone into their chip kick mark, slow play. They manned up, pushed it and forced the error and then played on really, really quick to get it inside forward 50.
It's got to be part Viking, Himmelberg. Have a look at him. That's not a Viking body on it.
A very blonde hairdo as well. Natural blonde. Elliot Himmelberg for his second goal. No, it just floats a little left after the strike. It's a behind to the left-hand side. 15 points is Brisbane's lead. 30 minutes played in the second quarter.
Minute to go.
Lions 8-6-54. Crows 6-3-39.
McKenna plays on quickly out of the goal square from the kick in. Finds Ashcroft, 45 from his own goal. Back into the corridor to find McKenna yet again. He's going to find... Oh, that's a dangerous kick. It was a half volley towards Lester, who had to give it back to him, and then he kicks it, McKenna, towards right half back, and once again Jared Berry takes a mark. This keeping's off game working for Brisbane, but some of the kicks are making hard work of it as Bailey gathers, and he flares it out a little bit wider, 15 metres barely, to find Lockie Neal, just forward of right half back. And he goes down the line, the lead from Danaher, a long way up the ground.
You got both benches with a 30-second sign. I don't even know if if they even look at each other. Now the other one's got 15 seconds. Can you work it out over there?
Both benches. I don't think there's a lot of collusion between the two.
Danaher with a long ball to right half forward. Dunkley drops the mark, roves his own crumb, but ineffective handball, and as indicated by those big signs out there, we're running out of time in this quarter, and that'll be the last of the action. Half-time at the Gabba. And it's a tight tussle. Brisbane has extended its lead from 12 at quarter time to now 15 at half-time. Both teams kicked 4 goals in that quarter. Brisbane kicking 4 goals 4 to Adelaide's 4 goals 1. It's Brisbane 8 goals 6, 54 to Adelaide's 6-3, 39. And Lockie Neal, for the first time as a Lion, has kicked 3 goals for Brisbane. He's done it a few times for the Dockers. His career best is 4 when he was back in the purple. But 3 goals today for the 2-time Brownlow medalist. Cam Rayner has 2 goals. And the other 3, all singles, to Calamar Chi, Josh Dunkley and Eric Hipwood. Adelaide's 6 goals. Half of those kicked by the former underage Queensland captain, Ben Keys. Single goals to Taylor Walker, Isaac Rankin and Elliot Himmelberg. And speaking of Rankin, that's one of the talking points outside of the scoreboard in the first half. A shirt front on Brandon Starcevic saw him subbed out of the game with a failed head injury assessment. And we wait to see further replays, getting suggestions that maybe the top of Rankin's head got into the chin of Starcevic. If that's happened and he's out of the game, that's trouble for Rankin. But I must admit, I haven't delve too much into the forensics of the frame by frame yet, but it'll be one of the talking points regardless of the result here. Brisbane 8-6-54, Adelaide 6-3-39. Before our experts, a reminder of what's happened earlier today. At the MCG, the D's with a 9-goal victory over West Coast. Melbourne 17 goals 10, 112 to the Eagles 8-10, 58. And it's 3-quarter time, despite Jason beseeching us that it has been over at Docklands for a while. There is still one term to play there. Sydney 11-11, 77. Lead St Kilda 9-4.
3 goals 2. We watched they'll lose by 3 goals 2.
11-11, 77 to 9-4, 58. You've been watching this one, Jace. We can trust your assessment here. Along with Jeff White, what are you seeing?
Well, where do I start? I think the Lions, first quarter and second, could have easily kicked 2 or 3 more goals without even breaking sweat, but they didn't. And I suppose both coaches should be saying, one for take your chances a bit better, be a little bit cleaner going forward. And I think Matty Nix will be saying, hey, listen, we've got to get better in the midfield. We've got to match them. We've got to start winning out of the stoppages. We've got to be stronger over the ball. And I think To their credit, though, the Crows, as they have been, that's how confident they are. They are the Terminator. They just cannot be beaten. They just keep coming and coming. And it's only a matter of time. The third quarter will tell. They'll be in the game all the way to the siren.
Yeah, I agree with the midfield. I think Matty Nix will be really, really pleased with the way it's gone this first half. First half of the first quarter, they were second on the ball, and I guess they were just trying to find their feet. Since then, the intensity has been really, really good. But they've got to tidy up in the midfield. Particularly Lockie Neal's had 23 and kicked 3.
And 6 clearances, can I say.
And Dunkley's had 21 and kicked 1. So there's a real big difference there. There's 4 goals from their midfield. So they've really got to tidy up and just be mindful. You've got to look at the work rate of Lockie Neal too. He's getting it. He's got 2 of his 3 goals from forward stoppages. So very different, work rate going inside forward 50. But besides that, Adelaide's been the intensity's been there. We saw a big difference in that second quarter, using their hands, trying to use the ball through the arcs instead of just bombing it. We spoke about in the first quarter where they would a couple of hand passes, bomb it. That's where Harris Andrews come into play. So now they're getting deeper inside forward 50 and the scoreboard, and they're getting that scoreboard pressure. So I'll be really excited from Matty Nick's perspective on the way they've performed this first half, and now they've got to increase that intensity and keep up that momentum going forward.
And they can get more out of Dawson. They can get more out of a bunch of their sort of players. I mean, except for Laird, who always works hard. They've just got you look at those two in Dunkley and Neal, they've got 9 clearances between the two of them, they're just dominating. So that said, if you're Matty Nix, you haven't played overly well. You have been really scrappy at times. Pressure's been good, but there's so much to improve. And if they do half of the stuff you'd like to improve, they will be right in this.
And interesting that Neal's had 23, Dunkley's had 21. The next best line is 12 possessions. So those two are just owning it. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Jeff. Halftime Brisbane by 15 points. Final terms underway at Docklands. Sydney 11-12-78 lead St Kilda 8-4-64. So 14 points is the lead there, but outside of the scoreline, bit of news beyond the contest there is that Isaac Heaney was involved in an incident with Jimmy Webster, which may come under review from the match review officer. And Isaac Heaney, in the eyes of many, is one of the favourites for the Brownlow medal. So that's a little asterisk to Sydney leading that one. In fact, is Tommy Papley having a kick for goal to try and extend the lead there. It's punched through for a point. So Sydney 11-12-78. St Kilda make it 11-13-79. That's a 13-point lead over the Saints, 10-4-64. NRL today, the Roosters celebrated Jared Waerea-Hargreaves' record-breaking 307th appearance for the Tricolours, even though he got sent to the sin bin. The Roosters won the game, 42-12 over St George Illawarra. Second half underway in Canberra, 20 minutes in, about 20 to go. The Knights 16 lead the Raiders 12. Here it's Brisbane by 15 points at half-time. More to come from the Gabba after the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. Police allege a 28-year-old man tried to stop first responders from rescuing 7 children in a burning home in Sydney's west this morning. The Laylaw Park house fire claimed the lives of 3 young children, including a baby girl and 2 boys aged 2 and 5, in what police are treating as a domestic-related multiple homicide. Detectives believe the man was known to the family and will allege he intentionally tried to keep the children inside the burning house. He's now receiving treatment in Westmead Hospital under police guard. Acting Superintendent Jason Petruska says the actions of police and one neighbour saved further lives from being lost.
They were quite heroic in what they did in trying to get entry into a place that, as stated, was well on fire. They then had to bring the offender under arrest. They suffered very minor injuries as a result.
The Northern Territory Police Minister says the Police Commissioner is actively considering imposing a second youth curfew on Alice Springs. Minister Brent Potter made the comments after a horror 72 hours in the town, which he said resulted in 4 off-duty police officers being attacked, another officer run down outside a bottle shop, and a person stabbed in the town CBD. A youth curfew was first imposed on Alice Springs after a series of violent disturbances in the town CBD and town camps in March. Queensland's Premier has criticised the state's opposition's new youth crime policy as being without substance. Opposition leader David Crisafulli announced today if his party wins government, they will implement a policy of adult crime, adult time. It would see underage offenders tried as adults for serious crimes if the LNP wins the October state election. Premier Stephen Miles says it's just another four-word slogan.
It's all we ever see from him. There's slogans, no substance. We have a comprehensive community safety plan that doesn't just go to sentencing and detention, but also early intervention and prevention programs.
Voting has begun in France's crucial runoff elections that could deliver a historic parliamentary victory to Marine Le Pen's far-right national rally. Larry Buttrose has more.
Today's vote will determine which party controls the National Assembly and who will be Prime Minister. The first round a week ago saw the largest gains ever for the anti-immigration nationalist National Rally. If support erodes further for President Emmanuel Macron's centrist party, he may be forced to share power with leftist parties opposed to most of his pro-business, pro-EU policies. Tens of thousands of police will be deployed to maintain security for today's vote after a campaign marked by racism and violent attacks on dozens of candidates, which is highly unusual for France.
An official in Ukraine says 14 people have been killed in a road accident in the country's west. The official says a truck drove into oncoming traffic and collided with a minibus. 12 passengers in the minibus died, including a 6-year-old child and both drivers. Back home, and police say 2 bodies have been found at Little Bay Beach in Sydney's eastern suburbs. Chantal Alkuri reports.
Emergency services were called just after 11 o'clock this morning following reports of a concern for welfare. Officers located a number of items on nearby rocks before a body was found. A second body was located just before 2 o'clock near the rocks. Both are yet to be formally identified. A sea and air search is still underway in the area, and police are urging anyone with information to contact Crime Stoppers.
South Australia Police are investigating the death of a 60-year-old man at a home in Adelaide's northwest this morning. Emergency services were called to Medina Street in Taparoo at around 8:40 following reports a man had been injured. A 58-year-old woman from the address has been assisting authorities with their inquiries. Police are yet to confirm the cause of the man's death. In sport, the Sydney Roosters have jumped to third spot on the NRL ladder after hammering St George Illawarra 42-12 at the Sydney Football Stadium. It was a memorable day for Sydney's Jared Warrior Hargreaves, who became the most capped player in the club's long history. In his record 307th game, the Roosters enforcer was sent to the sin bin for a high shot in the first half. The 35-year-old Kiwi told ABC Sport it was special to get the win in his milestone match.
Really, really privileged, really honoured, but what a week, so overwhelming, really emotional. It's been such a great week. I've tried to keep it as normal as possible, but just, really proud.
This is ABC News.
The ABC Tennis Podcast is your Australian serve of tennis all year round, be it on grass, clay or hard court. Join myself, Catherine Murphy, and former Australian tennis players John Millman and John Alexander as we unpack results and storylines from the Grand Slams and beyond. It's the podcast Australia's Alex Demonor listens to.
No, Alex is a big listener to the ABC Tennis Podcast.
Find the ABC Tennis Podcast on the ABC Listen app.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Stolen by Neal. His hand pass too hot for Bailey. It ricochets back to Lockie Neal. In the pocket, he creates some space. And among the scrap, the class comes to the fore. Lockie Neal never kicks multiple goals. He's got 3 already.
Outrageous. Backwards to Scholl, who kicked it to the top of the square. Oh, crunch numbers. Picked up by Keys. He has another ping. That's 3 for Ben Keys. Crowd give him the boos here at the Gabba. The former Lion laughing all the way to the bank. Slap forward. Rayner overruns it. Picked up by Dunkley. Has a flying shot. And it's scrappy, but it's another goal to Brisbane. The pressure got to the Crows there. Rankin beat Wilmot point blank. Looped a handball over to Fogarty, who laced out Himmelberg, 25 out, directly in front. Elliot Himmelberg, good for a goal a game. 46 goals in 46 games. He comes in and pokes it straight through. That's good from the Crows. Umpire throws it up. McInerney slaps it into the path of Neil. Going to gather on the arc against the boundary line. He kicks it to the top of the square. High flies in Rankin, and Archie, he's claimed it on the second. Brad Archie. I reckon everyone had shares in that. Don't worry about it, but it's a mark directly in front to extend this Lions lead yet again. Comes in and drills it straight through to the roars of the Gabba crowd.
Hand pass to Rochelle at right half forward. Nice movement. Here's the kick to the pocket, and Rankin gets in the way of the Walker lead to Mark. Gee, that was a brave move. Hard on the boundary, 40 metres out. Isaac Rankin with his right foot. Oh, that is a precise piece of Australian football brilliance. What a skill. What a finish. What a player. Isaac Rankin. Just what the Crows needed.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Plenty happening on this Sunday, which will bring the curtain down on round 17 of the 2024 AFL season. You're hearing it live on ABC Sport. Quentin Hull and the team at the Gabba contemplating matters here and elsewhere at halftime. As far as this game's concerned, it's Brisbane leading Adelaide by 15 points. They led by 12 points at quarter time. The Lions 8 goals, 6-54, lead the Crows 6 goals, 3-39. 3 goals to Lachie Neale, 3 goals to Ben Keys, and questions still surrounding the contact which saw Brandon Starcevic knocked out of the game by an off-the-ball bump from Isaac Rankin. Meanwhile, there's talk of an off-the-ball incident as well at Docklands, where the Saints are making a game of it against the Swans. Isaac Heaney seen to make contact with Jimmy Webster with a flailing loose arm. He's one of the major contenders for the Brownlow medal, so that's a big storyline outside of the scoreline, which sees the Saints only 4 points behind now, halfway through the final term. Sydney 11-14-80 to St Kilda's 12-4-76. That after earlier today, the D's took care of the Eagles by 9 goals at the MCG. Concern for Jeremy McGovern, who was sent to hospital with an injury around his ribs or lungs anyway, made the day worse for the Eagles. The D's winning it, staying in the fight for the 8, 17-10, 112 to 8 goals, 10-58. Jason Ackermanis and Jeff White will talk you through things here in a moment. I've got some numbers to help them, though. Lachie Neale and Josh Dunkley are having a day out. We said it before the news. Let's reiterate as we run through some stats. For Brisbane, Neale has 23 disposals, 14 contested disposals, 6 clearances, 3 goals, 21 disposals for Dunkley, 12 for McCluggage, 12 for Ashcroft, 11 each for McKenna and Bailey. Leading the way individually for Adelaide is Rory Laird and Luke Nankervis. They both have 14 disposals. Brodie Smith has 12 and 11 for Keane, Murray, Scholl and Berry. Overall, Brisbane's had 9 more touches, 189 to 180. Contested ball, Adelaide plus 4. It's 66 to 62. The clearances, Brisbane just by 1, 19 to 18. The inside 50s, Brisbane plus 6 at 29 to 23. So outside of the 2 superstar midfielders for the Lions getting off the chain, there's not much in those numbers, but maybe those numbers are enough for something for Matt Nixon, the Crows, to look at to try and sway things in the second half here, Luke. Jeff and Acker.
I think you're right there, but if they do that, then McCluggage will probably get a heap of the ball. They can't really blanket everyone. They can just be better, and if they can get their hands on the ball more and have better starting positions and work a little bit harder around those contests, and not that that's necessary. They had 2 spares at one stage off the contest for the defensive side. Once they get rid of that rubbish and they go that bit more man on man, I think Jeff White, they will make a real game of it.
Yeah, I think it's also the awareness. It's when you go into forward to centre or you're spreading away from stoppage, you've got to be able to work together. So if it's Dawson, Saligo, they've got to work to each other. Hey, who have you got? Turn your head, pick them up. Because at the moment, Dunkley and Neale, forward to centre, they're running extremely hard going forward.
They are.
So that's where they've got to go and pick them up. And then they're fit enough to actually work them the other way. So they've got to be dangerous going forward, just to use up their petrol tank a little bit. But yeah, they've certainly got to be mindful of those 2 at the moment.
Thank you, Jason. And Jeff, getting to the pointy end of the Super Netball season as well, and the Adelaide Thunderbirds have just claimed an important victory over the New South Wales Swifts. So there's one round to go. The Thunderbirds have beaten the Swifts by 60-48, which means the Thunderbirds are on top of the ladder with one round to go following the Fevers win over the Vixens. They won by 1 point earlier today. The old netball terminology, I don't like saying points, but when you've got the super shots these days where a goal can be worth 2 points, it still sounds weird.
Yeah,
say the Thunderbirds won 68 points to 48. 60 points to 48, but yeah.
Was Thunderbirds a TV show?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
They're also a very good netball team out of Adelaide.
They're also, it was a car too, wasn't it?
Yes.
Thunderbird.
It was animated.
Yes.
Oh, no, it was a puppeteering type of... Yes, anyway.
That would have taken ages back in those days to do.
Thunderbirds won it 60-48. And by the way, Jack.
Oh, here we go.
We're riding you on this one.
I hope there's a soundbite.
I told you. Did I not say they just make it interesting? They couldn't even get back in front, but they still lose by 3 goals too. You watch.
St Kilda is in front by 3 points, despite Jason Ackermanis calling that game over and Sydney winning it at half-time. The Saints, 13-5-83, lead the Swans, 11-14-80, halfway through the final term. What's the script for the second half here? Looking at your crystal ball. What do you got?
Well, they just need more connection, both Adelaide and Brisbane, between the midfield, the kicks in to their forwards. They get that right, I think they'll be fine.
On our screen from the studio, Mitch Turner's very quick. He has posted a photo of the Thunderbirds.
That looks like Keys' hair, that guy.
Ben Keys, Virgil.
It's
actually Virgil.
Virgil, yeah.
Well, forget that. Second half is go here at the Gabba with Michael Price.
Half is go, that's right.
FABQ. Well, we're back into the middle of the Gabba.
You got to think quick here, don't you?
Umpire James Strybos has the ball in hand.
Strybos, that's got to be German.
As we've got a Bon Jovi sing-along going on here. It's a bit of literally karaoke.
There's still 18 seconds left. Everyone's in position, and the timepiece is counting down.
Yeah, well...
Even the TV showing cutaways. We're all ready, but because we have to give the allotted time, that's fair enough.
That's fair enough too, because...
Never do this song, by the way, at karaoke. The high register's too hard.
Yeah, it's
Michael.
too hard to sing.
Yeah.
High register was too hard for John Bon Jovi after the first 10 years of doing it, I reckon. We're back into the middle. Strybos has ball in hand and beautiful bounce to start the second half. Well done to O'Brien, who got it down into the path of Jordan Dawson. Coming in there, it was Scholl. Got in front of Lockneil, but he was tackled by Neil, and we'll do it all again, just adjacent to the centre circles. The big men tangle. McCluggage got the ball down. He was tackled into the ground by Laird, only another metre forward, and we'll do it all again. Third restart. O'Brien got it down, and yet again another pack of players descend on the ball. Laird gathered and then kicked it straight up and down the chimney. It's going to land in the bull's eyes. Slapped forward. Samberry tackled by Dunkley into the ground. We've moved about 2 metres to the left of the centre circle's queue. This will be the fourth restart.
My turn?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, see if I can get out of the middle. Ruckman have a go. Zorko at the back of the pack puts a left foot kick up and down the mine shaft on the head of Hinge. Couldn't take the mark. Still in the middle of the ground. Now the Lions have got it. Dunkley with a hand pass wide to Wilmot. On his left boot from the wing. Wide entry to the pocket. Too wide for Lohman. Nankervis was close company anyway, and the ball spills over the boundary line for a throw-in. The natural light has gone. We are under the floodlights at the Gabba. The twilight fixture has become the evening curtain closer for round 17. And the Lions looking to make it 5 wins in a row to return to the top 8 after the results of the weekend so far have shuffled them down the pecking order. Boundary throw-in, no clearance with Brisbane in attack. It will be thrown up once more.
They've just got to watch that hit over the back. In these situations, the Crows have got to be really mindful of it, especially in the forward 50 of Brisbane.
So they're 45 metres out from Brisbane's goal. Charlie Cameron at the base of the pack slaps it into the path of Rayner. Gave it back there to Kalachi, but he's crossed the boundary line. It will be a throw in about 40 metres out in the left forward pocket for Brisbane. Leading by 15 points, nearly 2 minutes gone to this third term. There's a bit going on off the ball between Rayner and Hinge. And the ball just got returned there from the outer.
The interesting stat about Mitch Hinge, he's 3 games for the Brisbane Lions. He actually made his debut at this ground for Brisbane against Adelaide.
Oh, well played, and he's in a good vein of form as well. He had nearly 27 odd disposals.
That was round 19 of 2019 for Mitch Hinge.
Throw in, McInerney got it down to McCluggage, smashed into the ground, ball stuck underneath. We'll ball it up 45 out. And this is the kind of game the Crows have made it. It's a scrap, it's a fight.
Hard footy to win. O'Brien and McInerney volley it in the air. Rayner punches it, taken though by Smith of Adelaide under pressure, toes it about 15 clear, took a touch. Neil's got it for Brisbane though, hands it out the back to Zorko, kicked to full forward looking for Cameron. Nice spoil away by Michaelani. And again, at the deck, players pile in quickly. Nice tackle there from Laird to lock it up on Dunkley.
Hot footy.
Yep, tossed up in the pocket. At the fit of the big man, Dunkley's been ridden into the ground by Sam Berry's tackle. Do it all again.
That's the one thing about the tackling, Jeff White. They should play more in the back if they want to get this holding the ball a bit sharper.
Umpire throws it up. Forward pocket for Brisbane. McInerney down into the path there of Lohman as he had a ping. Out of the middle of the pack, Kai Lohman. Oh, yes, indeed. He went up and celebrated with the crowd on the fence. They'll pay that one to the blonde forward for Brisbane. And they get their 9th goal. 9-6-60, plays 6-3-39. Back out to that game-high 21-point margin with 3.5 gone third term.
And guess who was near that stop play when that happened? Lachie Neale. They've got to be on this, Adelaide. He was, if that had set up, he was going inside forward, he was going straight into goal square.
Yeah, would have run in.
He's got to run in there. So
that's him though. He does. Kai Lohman, he's such a good quality. Take any chance he can get. He will get a goal. He's a good set shot too. So, but that, as you said, Jeff White, a little handball there, and Lachie Neale was running into an open goal with, with the player just not in front of him, not blocking his run.
6 minutes left in the Docklands game. Saints are still 3 points in front of the Swans. Here, it's a 21-point lead for Brisbane. Adelaide has not seen the lead once in the game, but it's never got beyond 21 points. Centre bounce. Ashcroft applies a tackle on Sam Berry to ensure there's no clearance for the Crow. And another stoppage coming up near the bullseye. Tossed in the air, McInerney with the palm down. Murphy had his jumper shrug, no free kick. McCluggage roves for Brisbane, hands it out the back to Neale. Clearance for the Lions. Neale along, kick to half forward, or no one there for Brisbane. Butts had a bad moment but regathered his own crumb. Handed it to Smith. Smith's hand pass is poor. Stolen by Danaher in the pocket. Miss hits his grubbing kick along the boundary line. It's out of play.
Yeah, Lohman running free. Just had to give the hand pass off then.
He's done that all day. He's missed the ones that he really should just give it to the free player ahead of him.
So another opportunity here for the Brisbane Lions. 21 points the margin early in the third quarter. Throw in, left forward pocket. McInerney versus O'Brien. McInerney got it down, Rayner towed it forward. Once again, Lohman from the pocket. Will he gather? He does. Tackled by Nankervis, well done. Picked up by Scholl, off a step towards half-back. Murphy battled his way in front of Neale and took a really good mark. That was a good contest. Got onto his left foot, kicked it to the outer wing. Oh, it was well done by Walker, who got rid of Ryan Lester, took the nice strong mark, played on quickly, found Fogarty, 70 from goal at right half forward. He's got a huge left leg on him as Darcy Fogarty. He's waiting for all comers. He retreats back to find Hinge. Hinge back into the corridor by foot to find Sam Berry on the point of the centre square.
60 metres out at right half forward. Short pass is marked by Michaelani, 50 out, 2 steps and a ping from the defender. Just missed it. Ooh, good attempt. Minor score from Max Michaelani. Brisbane lead by 20 points. Yeah. Lions with a quick inbound and Leicester marks beyond defensive 50 at right half back.
He's in career best form, no doubt about it. The veteran in Leicester got it laterally to McCluggage, who played on, kicks it in the direction of Harris Andrews, spoiled by his opposite 31 there in Dowling. Forward. Reville picks it up. 55 out. He was looking to pass it to Lohman. I reckon that was a pass, but he overshot it. Picked up there by Murray for the Crows. Nicely passed off there to Scholl. He lowers his eyes, finds Laird. Still inside defensive 50 for the Crows, but they're in control. This is an aggressive kick from Laird, straight down the middle. And it finds Sam Berry. He's got Jared, his opposite in name, standing the mark. He flares it out to right half forward, off the hands, Rankin roves from the boundary line. He centres the ball. He missed the target in Walker. Fairly huge target too. Picked up by Harris Andrews. His kick into the middle, rejected. Rove by O'Brien. Handball to Himmelberg. Back to Hinge, the left footer, measured beautifully to Keys. 50 from goal on the arc, 45-degree angle to the left. He goes back into the middle to find Mitch Hinge again. 45 out,
slide angle to the left, and two former Lions conspire to set up this shot at goal.
There's a good passage of play there from the Crows. They're playing good footy.
They are. They're confident. I told you. That's why they never die. They just keep coming. But that said, how many times do you want to have easy kicks that you're just overshooting or just missing? Free targets, as there was there from Bruce or Reville to Kyle Lohman there. That is a sitter goal missing.
In only 6 goals in his 58 games. 31 disposals last week. Mitch Hinge. Lovely left foot, but he's hooked it to the right. It's one behind. 60 plays 41. 19 points the margin in favour of Brisbane with 8 gone in the second quarter.
2.5 minutes of playing time left at Docklands. St Kilda still leads Sydney by 3 points. Inbound from the Lions. McCluggage marks at D50. Long kick to the wing to a one-on-one. Hinge and Archie battle. Good tackle from Hinge. Puts Archie over the boundary line unceremoniously with ball in hand. And we'll see a ball in right in front of us on the members' wing.
He's got his hands full there. Hinge, he's had a much better quarter. And he was there with that intercept that set up that last shot on goal.
Throw in right on halfway. O'Brien got the knuckle down there. Ricochet's clear of the pack, though, to Rayner of Brisbane. Tackled and slung by Smith. Got a hand pass free, but stolen by the Crows. Taken away by Dowling. Chain of hands ends up with Keys. Gives it back to Dowling. Dowling kicks to Himmelberg. Engages with Andrews and takes a brilliant mark. Controlling touch, then a wrestle, and then a second touch to grab it. Oh, not many beat Harris Andrews one-on-one. That's a fine mark from Elliot Himmelberg, 30 out straight in front.
Especially with your hand tied behind your back pretty much there. Super grab. But that goes back to the tackling pressure, Adelaide. And you had Cam Rayner, who just was getting so well tackled. He really didn't have many options. He ended up just coughing it up. They came back through the corridor. And super kick to give him a chance here, the great Viking.
Elliot Himmelberg from straight in front. He's already kicked a goal. On the runway, strikes it with his right and kicks the goal. 2 for Himmelberg. The margin is 13 at the Gabba. Adelaide 7 goals, 5-47. Trail Brisbane's 9-6-60. That's 10, or make it 9.5 minutes played, third term.
I love his work rate tonight, Himmelberg. He's worked up to centre half forward. He's worked in conjunction with Tex Walker. He's got in the right position. He's a big fella. He's gone and getting the ball at its highest point.
Not quite deja vu at Docklands, but would you believe Logan McDonald just had a shot from outside 50 for Sydney? He did score today. He did make the distance. He's kicked the point. There's half a minute left. The Saints lead by 2 points.
Got me down with a feather. That is going to be there's going to be a draw or a close win. Or a shot after the siren, if you will.
Anything could happen. We're back into the middle of the Gabba, though, and it's 13 points the margin. The Lions lead. They'll get this clearance. Goes to Charlie Cameron. Oh, bursts inside 50. The outside of the right shoe is wide. He was going too fast for all thought processes there. It is now 14 points the margin. 61 plays 47 as the Crows play on quickly.
There's 5 seconds left at Docklands. There's a stoppage inside 50 for Sydney.
Owen.
And St Kilda lead by 2 points as the Crows chip it around in the back line.
They should win this one, the Saints.
Butts takes the ball at left half back here as the Crows move it to the wing. Good pass for Keys, who marks on halfway. Would you believe there's a blood rule to stop things? 5 seconds left there at Docklands. Meanwhile, Keys chips infield to Cook. Cook's got it forward of left half back for Adelaide. He looks all the way back to fullback. He kicks it to Keane. Keane marks, kicks to right half back. Michael Annie's there. He marks and has space to run through the half back flank. Has a bounce, delivers down the outer wing, and Saligo takes the grab just forward of the wing. He looks in field, kicks it to attacking 50, and that's a mark.
He was in there by himself for about 20 seconds, so I'm glad.
So that's Saligo. My apologies. That was Dowling who kicked it into him. Apologies, got that one wrong. Saligo has taken the mark.
Yeah, he was in there by himself. No one picked him up. Good kick, though, and good mark. And look at that. Told you.
Saints have won, Jason.
2 points.
I thought you said that was over.
Yeah, no,
at half time.
But look at the scoring shots.
St Kilda 13-6-84, Sydney 11-16-82. Here, Saligo on his right. Nice strike. And he's kicked the goal. And it's a single-figure margin at the Gabba. Brisbane 9 goals, 7-61 to Adelaide's 8-5, 53, 12 and a half minutes, third term. Zane Bojack on the boundary.
Acker, I've got my pen in my hand. Give me your 6 lotto numbers and I'll take the other 39, mate.
Oh, wow. I mean, look at the scoring shots, though. 25-19. They butchered that. They should have won that. But I didn't care. I was just saying they should have won.
So the top two teams on the ladder have both been defeated this weekend. That's 2 losses in a row for Sydney. Meanwhile, Adelaide keep fighting here, Jeff and Jason.
Could there be another upset? They're playing good footy. They're using the ball. Love when they switched it then on the open side. They're shifting the defence and they're getting past their centre-half forward, which is a real strong area for Brisbane at that centre-half back line.
They're plus 16 in disposals this quarter, the Adelaide Crows, and they should get another clearance here. They do. The ball goes back to O'Brien off hands. He'll go to the outer wing. He'll find his teammate, the veteran in Laird. Handball off to the run of Nankervis, lowering the eyes to find Saligo at right half forward. Oh, they're on now. Inside 50. Oh, he missed the target. Did he? No. Yes, he did. He had Darcy Fogarty open by metres and he kicked it out of bounds on the full. It's going to be a free kick to Brisbane and a wasted opportunity there for the Crows.
Well, that's how they got back in, though. This is the dominance for Brisbane in the midfield has been shut down and they have improved Adelaide.
Payne from the left back pocket. A long kick to a pack. Spoiled down by Morris of Brisbane. Dunkley's underneath it, but tackled immediately.
Yeah, on that, we've played, 14 minutes in this third quarter, and Lachie Neal's only had 2 possessions. Dunkley's had 1.
Yeah, Dawson was all over Dunkley there. Ball up on the outer wing. O'Brien for the Crows. Taps down. Looking for a rover, but it's stolen by Brisbane's Fletcher. Hands it to Ashcroft. Hands it on to Bailey. On the wing. Kick to attacking 50. Hipwood leads. Butts to the ball and takes the mark. Where the 50 Paint meets the boundary. Paint at left half forward. Thought of dishing it off and now has to go back. Eric Hipwood.
So Eric's got to either go quick and find someone, or going for a shot like this, it's real low percentage. And he had players running for him. He just needed to have the confidence to kick it and give it to the advantage of one of his teammates, because he had a bunch of them one-on-one forward.
This will take an exceptional kick.
But he did that, though. We did kick the goal last week. Was it the first goal of the last game here from over there?
Man on the mark is, as I said, 50 out on the boundary. Hipwood launches into it with his left boot. He's kicked it to the top of the goal square, intentionally or otherwise, I'm not sure. Rayner with the fly, no mark. Keys with the clearing row for Adelaide. He's kicked that with intent to clear defence, with no intent to keep it in. Over the boundary line on the wing, though, almost. Free kick for Brisbane, Leicester to take it.
Not well disguised. Nice 40-20 if you're playing the other code. It went down to Leicester. He's going to play on. Just forward to centre wing. Inside 50. Punched away from there. Great spoil from Nick Murray.
How was that? What's the other intent he had for that spoil?
Oh,
nothing.
It's kill the contest. Mel Michael would have
changed the rules.
30 free kicks a game.
Well, they changed the rules for him when he kicked it, to the third tier.
The throw in from the right forward pocket. O'Brien slapped it down. Bursting onto it there, Dunkley. He's tackled into the ground. He didn't have any prior opportunity. The Crows players were appealing, and he picks himself up off the Gabba turf, and the umpire will throw it up.
8 points to lead to Brisbane. Ashcroft's over the contest. Saligo's got him. There's a whistle.
Oh,
hold on. Which way is this going? The players don't know.
No, that's just another ball. Let it go. That half a second, all of a sudden the ball's out. Isn't that what the AFL wants, getting it out of that contest?
Oh, no, but the reasonable time has been shortened.
No, I know that.
It's less reasonable than it used to be.
That's unreasonable.
O'Brien with the tap down. Ball on attacking 50 for Brisbane. Berry makes a tackle on Dunkley. They're starting to clamp those prime movers.
Sam Berry's been on Dunkley all quarter and been doing so beautifully.
Another stoppage. O'Brien with a tap it right by Ashcroft. Breaks a tackle. Hand passes to space in the pocket. How's the bounce? Morris meets it. He's hassled off it. Picked up by Dowling of Adelaide. His hand pass too hot for Murray in the pocket. Out of play. Throw in. Left back pocket for Adelaide. Right forward pocket for Brisbane. Score check at the Gabba, 17 minutes third term. It's the locals 9-7-61, leading the Crows 8-5-53.
Throw in, right forward pocket, Danaher in front of O'Brien, who got it down, picked up by Lohman, immediately held up. Umpire will ball it up 25 metres out.
They're just suffocating the contest this quarter, Adelaide.
Throw a hanky over about 20 players here, off the hands of O'Brien, back to Hinge.
Ball spills now, and Ashcroft went up, grabbed it, tackled again by Hinge into the ground, 15 metres out.
Lucky then. I didn't think he disposed of the ball, the Adelaide player then.
It is packed around this ball, congested inside the Lions 50, so O'Brien fists it 20 metres away. It's gathered there by Fletcher. He's immediately held up by Rankin, and it's in the right forward pocket now, 25 metres away from the Lions goal as the umpire throws it up again very quickly. McInerney versus O'Brien. McInerney got it down. Rayner, tracks the ball, picks it up, hooks it around the left foot. That is amazing from Cam Rayner. His third goal, and Acker, he's exploded onto the game when you asked him to. With that little highlight, 10-7-67, plays 8-5-53. 14 points the margin in favour of the Lions, 18 gone, 13.
He was the only one on the move in that last stoppage, and he's trying to get that going, and he should, as a big bull that he was. It just tapped it in front of himself. He ended up getting it. I thought when he kicked it, though, on the left slipper that it was going to go out in the full, but it turns out this angle was wrong. He ended up just getting decent purchase, not touched by the looks of it, and that's a good goal, Jeff White.
Yeah, and he was here. I had Lohman and Ashcroft, sort of the two blondies, all in really close to the ruck, but he was the one that was on the outside. But like you said, he was the only one on the move, so he created that space behind him. He was able to get onto it, and a great finish on his left foot.
What's that for him today? 2 or 3? 3 goals, yeah. So, and that's what you need from him. If you're not going to get 25, we'll kick 3 or 4.
Jason Ackermanis and Jeff White with you on ABC Sport. Can the Crows get closer? They haven't let it get out of control, but they haven't seen the lead. Centre bounce. Himmelberg applies a lock there to ensure that Neal can't burst clear. So we'll see another ball up in the middle. Well, McInerney just shrugged Himmelberg out of the way. Clean possession, kick into the pack though. Murray comes through for the Crows, can't pick up. Dunkley does. Hand pass to Jared Berry. Rush kick claimed by Archie. Hands it back to Dunkley. From 70, kicks to full forward looking for Danaher. Can't take the mark under the pressure. Rebuts on the deck. Picked up by Smith. For the Crows, his clearing kick is straight to Dunkley.
Have a shot.
Marks it 50 metres out. That was just a hoping clearance
again
from the veteran defender.
Nowhere near the boundary where the defenders like to kick it out to. That said, though, just like that, Dunkley, bang, 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 3 touches, gets it back, has a shot on goal.
The older he gets, the more he's kicking. Looks like his old man, I reckon, Josh Dunkley.
He's looking a little bit stagnant and awkward.
He's already kicked a goal. Right on 50. Oh, he has missed that by a mile off the side of the boot. Out of bounds in the right forward pocket. That was a massive slice. Free kick to Adelaide. Brisbane lead remains at 14 points.
So the Crows bring it back in, down the line. Fogarty, spoiled down, nicely rowed by Rochelle, but he turned it over. Picked up by Reville, lowered the eyes, hit Logan Morris, 40 out. Good mark from the young man too, getting plenty of pressure there from Keane, but the youngster will go back. This is his first touch of the ball, and it'll be a shot at goal. Slight angle to the right.
It was a really good setup there by Brisbane. They pulled their forwards way back, so if the ball got forward of centre, forward of the play, the set play there, Reville had space to run into, and then he had leaders coming at him. So really good set play there from Brisbane.
Logan Morris. He's got a big future, this kid.
Their first names.
From 45. As soon as I said that, big future in slicing off the tee.
Is that the same spot as Duncan?
50 metres.
The man on the mark is encroached. He's going to get another shot.
He's dead set shanked that. He was lucky to hit his foot. It's gone out of bounds on the full, but the bloke on the mark moved when ordered to stand. So Logan Morris is going to get the half 100. He was going to walk into... Nobody's on the mark now either. He's just walked in and smashes it into the roof of the Gabba to get the Lions' 11th goal, 11-7-73. The Crows 8-5-53, 20 points to margin. A disappointing way to go about it there for Adelaide. 21 minutes gone, third term.
Coach Killer, that is. Coach Killer.
Yeah.
That said, two shanks, something wrong with the ball or something. It's got some oil on it. But anyway, the kick from Reville. I love when him and Zorgo are kicking inside forward 50. You'd just be salivating you're a fool.
So the man on the mark dared leap a little bit forward. When he kicked it.
So he dared not. So he didn't stand. He literally moved his feet up in the air and forward by half a foot. So
he did push the boundary there, and he got pinged.
Are you allowed to go vertical? You're just not allowed to go at the play.
Well, you're allowed to go vertical, but you can't On the vertical, you have to stay in
him.
line with the vertical plane.
Yeah.
You have to land.
And he advanced on the vertical plane.
Soligo
45. With the centre square clearance for the Crows here. They trail by 20 points. Hand pass to Nankervis. Kick to full forward, ill-directed. Payne gets in front of Fogarty to take the mark for Brisbane in the left back pocket. Kicks it across the face of goal to the co-captain Andrews. Markson will kick long to the wing. Dunkley's running hard. Beautiful kick. Did not break stride, Josh Dunkley. Beautiful service from Harris Andrews.
You like that when you're running.
Dunkley marks it on his chest. Puts it on the head of Wilmot. Spoiled away by Dawson of the Crows. Roved by Dowling. Cook, should I say. Quick kick to attacking 50. But again, Fogarty not near it. Not a great kick. Payne takes the mark. Chips it across the face of goal to Zorko. Zorko, a dangerous grubber, up the middle of the ground. Laird picks it up for Adelaide in the middle of the park. Hands it to Scholes. Scholes hand pass. Well, missed Himmelberg, but Zorko missed the ball. Himmelberg got it, then turns it over. Picked up by Wilmot of Brisbane. Hands to Fletcher in the left back pocket. He hands it to Andrews and the Lions clear.
Andrews kicks it to a one-on-one. Well done by Logan Morris, who beat his opponent point blank. Gathered. 2 bounces. He heads towards left half forward, the outside of the shoe. Finds Danaher, 40 out, confronted. Joe does a dance, gets around them all. Handball back to Lohman. Pressured off the kick, well picked up there by Smith. Gave it to Hinge by hand. Now they're going to get out of here. Cook comes to the commentary wing. Beautifully lace out towards Ben Keys, who took the mark, and he immediately played on. The left foot to a 2-on-1. Charlie Cameron flew high, spoiled the ball. Payne front and square had it and kicks a nice pass to Jared Berry. Knocked down as he takes it, and Charlie is down behind play. He got up
altitude sickness from that one. He just didn't know. I think he landed right on the top of his.
He landed on his back.
Flat on his back. Yeah.
And Murphy's matchups. Murphy is tagging Lockie Neal.
He's getting up limping. But it looks like he's okay. Neal's got the ball defensive side of the wing for Brisbane. They lead by 20 points, the Lions. High kick to half forward, just on the head of the pack. Hinge was there, spoiled away by Archie. Picked up, though, by Soligo of the Crows. Under pressure at left half back. Turns over his kick to the wing. Kicks it straight to Wilmot, who marks for Brisbane. Chips infield to Zorko. Zorko short pass to Hipwood. He's between wing and right
Eric.
half forward, 65 metres out.
Get it in there, Eric. He's
pretty congested,
slow.
Jace.
I know that, but they're moving for him.
Kick to the corridor over the head of Lohman. Bailey arrives, can't mark, shrugs a tackle of Smith, hands it off to Ashcroft, and Ashcroft kicks the goal! Snaps truly from 30 metres out. And that is Brisbane's biggest lead in the contest. 3 goals in a row for the locals. They're making their move in the shadows of three-quarter time. It's the Lions 12 goals, 7-79. To the Crows, 8-5, 53. Second game back from the ACL. Will Ashcroft kicks his first goal of the season. Zane Bojack on the boundary.
Yeah, the trainers are coming out to Charlie Cameron again. He's high-fiving Oscar McInerney, and he's going back into the attacking 50. They've tried to get him off a couple of times just to have a look at how he's feeling, but he wants to stay out there. I think the biggest shock for Charlie was that he took a big hang in a defensive 50, not the forward 50.
Well, he's up there. He certainly had a ride and a half, but either spoiling it or take the mark, but the landing was horrible. I tell you, if you're an Olympic gymnast, that is 0 out of 10.
Yeah, all of the acrobatics were done in the air. The landing, he didn't stick it at all, Acker. Now the Lions chant goes up as the game high 26-point lead is established, 26 gone, third term. Now the Crows really pressed up against it now. They need this clearance, they win it. Now it's Hinge, the long left footer, into the pocket. There was a big fly taken out of it there, Zorko at ground level, Harris Andrew. Now that is,
That's the Neil Bullen pocket same scenario.
Well, he's gone over the boundary line with Ben Keys tackling him. He's dead set. That's a try in rugby league.
But he's tried to fend him off as well.
That's as deliberate as it could be and not paid. Thrown in. The Crows with, a bit of an grievance there as Ben Keys has tackled somebody. It's Connor McKenna without the ball. So just to add insult to injury for Adelaide, McKenna's got the free kick in the right back pocket. St. Bojack's on the boundary.
Yeah, I'm with Acker. The umpires have got no idea.
They've had a shocker today.
I will say, Harris Andrews was tackled over the line, unlike Neil Bullen, who walked over the line. But Andrews was happy enough to walk in that direction.
Can I say though, Friday night those boundary umpires were throwing it in the best in the comp. They were nearly like 10 metres further than these guys. I don't know what's going on here. The air's that rare that they could throw it better, but these guys need to be better up here.
So the ball's in the opposite pocket now. Adelaide in attack, shallow throw in. Neil roves it, hand pass not creating much. Hold on whistles. Where?
Free kick.
Which way?
It's going to Ashcroft, should be.
High contact to Ashcroft, and Ashcroft has got the ball in the left back pocket for Brisbane.
Son of Choppers.
And he is just going to take the ball out towards left half back with a high kick. Danaher the target, fisted away by Butts, close to the boundary line and out of play. We're going to have a boundary throw in with Adelaide at right half forward. For those just joining us at the Gabba, welcome. Quentin Hull and the team for Brisbane versus Adelaide. Tight scrap this. Crows have been in it, but the Lions have a game-high lead of 26 points late in the third quarter. We'll go through the story of it for you in just a moment as Billy Dowling is tackled with, that's holding the ball. Holding the ball against Ryan Lester. Well, for Ryan Lester on the left half-back flank. It's the Lions 12-7-79 to the Crows 8-5-53. Michael Price alongside me calling it. Jeff White and Jason Ackermanis, your experts. Zane Bojack on the boundary. And Brandon Starcevic outside of the scoreline, bumped out of the game by Isaac Rankin in a story that goes beyond the scoreline.
So Zorko has it. An aggressive kick towards the commentary wing. Harris Andrews takes the mark in front of Elliot Himmelberg. Plays on by hand. Gives it now to McCluggage. Saunters up to the commentary wing. That's a kick that's going to lob at the feet of Loam, and he gathered it beautifully. Handball off to Wilmot. Off a step from 55 to the goal square. McInerney flew, couldn't quite take it. Crows with the numbers here. Well done. Hinge tackled, still got the handball away. Now it's Dowling. He couldn't quite pick the ball up. Now he does. Tackled by Wilmot. Umpire circles and says no. We will ball it up 45 metres out.
Fumbles.
The Crows got within 8 points earlier in this term. Brisbane's kicked the last 3 goals of the game. No clearance from the stoppage here with McCluggage tackled by Laird. Ball thrown in the air, attacking 50 for Brisbane. O'Brien, his tap sort of fell across his arm, and now there's no clearance for Scholl crashing through for the Crows. Quick précis for those joining us. Acca, what have you made of the game?
It's been a tight contest. They've closed it up in the second half here, Adelaide. It's been just getting this connection going forward and kicking the goals. That's all it has been. A bit scrappy.
Laird gets the clearance, rushes the ball to the wing. Walker the target, fisted away from him. Ball on the deck near the boundary line. Walker comes to engage with McKenna. Somehow McKenna gets a boot to it for Brisbane, but only as far as Scholl for Adelaide. Kicks it to half forward. Himmelberg got dragged down. No free kick. Rove by Rochelle, 70 out. Kicks to centre half forward. Late arriving Spoil and Dowling. Front on from Dunkley was good. Sam Berry though wins the crumbs, and his kick is marked by Keane. 45 metres out. 45 from goal. 45 degrees to the right.
You can see they're getting more. They're played on.
Keane kicks to the pocket, and Keys slides to his knees to take the mark near the boundary, about 10 metres around from the point post in the right forward pocket. So this is the preferred side for Ben Keys, who has already kicked 3 goals against his old club.
Been dangerous.
Looking for the left-footed snap punt, opens up the angle, has a go, kicks the goal to keep the Crows in it. 4 goals for the former Queensland underage captain for the enemy at the Gabba. It's Brisbane 12 goals 7-79, leading Adelaide 9-5-59. Jeff White, a few more thoughts for what we've seen so far for those just joining us.
Just the intensity of Adelaide. It started really slow in that first quarter, but since then they've really raised their intensity. They're using the ball really, really well, and it's good to see their half-backers getting involved in kicking inside forward 50. That flow from behind, they're getting that run, so it's allowing them to have some scoreboard pressure, which has resulted in 4 goals to Keys.
Zane Bojack on the boundary.
Yeah, Charlie Cameron's been given some pain relief. They've been working on his buttocks and also his left hip. He's had a bit of trouble with that. You can see him on the big screen now. He is a bit ginger down here, but I think he'll be able to get back out there.
So the umpire's back in the middle of the Gabba. Perfect bounce. McInerney slapped it down and ended up going for a second slap. It's cut off by Jordan Dawson. Handball to Sam Berry. Hang on, there's been a free kick. It's going to go back to Dawson, who was dealt with by Rayner after he got that handball away. Now he plays on. Looping handball into the path of Murray. Makes him work for it and then comes past, helps him out as well. Nice left foot kick inside 50. Looking for Keys, nicely spoiled by Connor McKenna over the boundary line. And there'll be a throw in about 45 metres out from the goal.
Pretty sweet for Ben Keys. That's a career best 4 against his old club.
That's the old, why didn't you keep me?
Ball thrown in on attacking 50 for Adelaide. Keys does the roving. It was behind his back. He's doing party tricks now. Gets a hand pass to Scholl. Snaps it towards the pocket. Walker the target. Payne the spoiler. Boundary the victor as it rolls out of play.
8 seconds left.
Yep. And almost three-quarter time, Jason. Brisbane with a 20-point lead. So they've incrementally increased that advantage at each break. It was 2 goals at quarter time. 15 points at half-time, set to be 20 points unless there's a late score here. From the boundary throw-in, out the back of the pack, half a chance for Scholl, but his kick won't change the scoreline. And we get to three-quarter time at the Gabba. And the Crows get that last goal of the quarter just to stay in the fight. But as mentioned, Brisbane has won every term. 12 points the margin at quarter time, 15 at half-time. And in that quarter, the Lions kicked 4 goals, 1 to the Crows, 3 goals, 2. Brisbane 12 goals, 779, leads Adelaide's 9-5, 59. Cam Rayner has kicked 3 goals for Brisbane. Lachie Neale has kicked 3 goals for Brisbane as well. First time he's kicked 3 goals as a Lion. Did it a few times in the purple of the Dockers, but first time he's kicked 3 at Brisbane. Goals to Lohman, Archie, Dunkley, Ashcroft, Morris and Hipwood. The reason Morris is out there, he was the sub. He was brought into the game when Brandon Starcevic got shirt fronted off the ball by Isaac Rankin. Failed on HIA, couldn't return. And Rankin's still out there circulating, but we wait to see further dissection of that. But that's why Morris is into the game. Ben Keys, as mentioned, 4 goals for Adelaide. Elliot Himmelberg's kicked 2. That's 6 of the 9. The 3 singles are to Taylor Walker, Jake Soligo and Isaac Rankin. So 20 points the lead to Brisbane at three-quarter time. If you're just joining us, St Kilda from 30 points down in the second half beat Sydney. The Swans have lost 2 in a row. The Saints won by 2 points.
Told you.
And for those that weren't with us, Jason said that it was all over and Sydney would win at halftime. So that's why we're giving him a bit of stick for that one. The Saints won at 13-6-84 to Sydney's 11-16-82. Asterix footnote in bold and underlined as well. Isaac Heaney to be looked at. One of the Brownlow favourites for an incident off the ball with Jimmy Webster. So there's a bit to chew through there. And unfortunately, Jeremy McGovern sent to hospital with a rib/lung injury to add insult to injury for the, or the other way around, injury to insult, for the West Coast Eagles, who went down by 9 goals to Melbourne earlier in the day at the G. The D's winning at 17-10 to 8 goals 10. In the NRL today, the winners are the Roosters and the Knights. The Roosters beat the Dragons 42-12 and Newcastle beat Canberra 16-12. Big final term coming up here at the Gabba. Brisbane lead it by 20 points. You're listening to ABC Sport.
Here's my top footy tip for the season. You can get your games live and ad-free on the ABC Listen app. I know, right? AFL, NRL, men's, women's. Whatever footy you're after, we've got you covered. Every goal, try, mark and tackle. Called by ABC Sport's expert commentary team.
How did he do it? Game, set, bingo!
This season on the home of 100% pure footy, the ABC Listen app. This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Umpire throws it up. Forward pocket for Brisbane. McInerney down into the path there of Lohman as he had a ping. Out of the middle of the pack, Kai Lohman. Oh, yes, indeed. He went up and celebrated with the crowd on the fence. They'll pay that one to the blonde forward for Brisbane.
Dowling kicks to Himmelberg, engages with Andrews and takes a brilliant mark. Controlling touch, then a wrestle, and then a second touch to grab it. Elliot Himmelberg from straight in front. He's already kicked a goal. On the runway, strikes it with his right and kicks the goal. 2 for Himmelberg.
McInerney versus O'Brien. McInerney got it down.
Rayner, tracks the ball, picks it up, hooks it around the left foot. That is amazing from Cam Rayner. His third goal.
Over the head of Lohman, Bailey arrives, can't mark, shrugs a tackle of Smith, hands it off to Ashcroft, and Ashcroft kicks the goal! Snaps truly from 30 metres out, and that is Brisbane's biggest lead in the contest. Keane kicks in the pocket, and Keys slides to his knees to take the mark near the boundary, about 10 metres around from the point post in the right forward pocket. Looking for the left-footed snap punt, opens up the angle, has a go, kicks the goal to keep the Crows in it. 4 goals for the former Queensland underage captain.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
20 points to lead to Brisbane at the final change as we get to the final half an hour of play in this round 17 on ABC Sport. Quentin Hull and the team at the Brisbane Cricket Ground. We'd love to hear from you throughout the final term here, 0437 774 774 if you want to get in touch. 0437 774 774 is the SMS number. Please send us your name and where you are texting from. Brisbane 12 goals 779 to Adelaide's 9-5-59. The Lions looking for a 5th straight win, and following the results of the weekend, they need it to get back into the top 8. Now, just before Zane on the boundary with some news around the competition, the MRO news from yesterday coming through. Mitch Georgiadis has been offered a 1-match ban for striking Nick Caulfield yesterday in Port's big win over the Dogs. So Mitch Georgiadis offered a 1-match ban for striking Nick Caulfield, and just a fine for Toby Green of Greater Western Sydney for striking Brody Kemp of the Blues in the Giants come from behind win against Carlton. So Georgiadis facing 1 match out and Green with a fine. Zane on the boundary before the final term.
Yeah, they're working on Mitch Hinge before 3/4 time. He's been subbed out, Q, and Zach Taylor's into the contest for the Crows.
Anyway, back Jason and Jeff for the Crows here.
Always, but no.
Jeff?
I reckon they're a chance.
Reckon they might be too. We're back into the middle. Umpire throws it up, and it's kicked forward by Lockneil out of the congestion. Danaher leads for it, and he's collected. Umpire says high as the ball moves forward, but it was Jordan Dawson versus Joe Danaher, both going from the opposite direction.
He might be in trouble, Dawson.
But he got pushed.
He got pushed.
He got nudged into it.
He got
off
nudged
the
into it.
player.
Yeah, Rayner pushed him into him.
And not much you could do there. I don't think they'll give him much for that. It's not his fault, really.
At the outer edge of the Joe Danaher universe, this is in his universe.
It is. It's 60 metres out. He's adjacent to the point of the centre square by the time he kicks it.
Top of the goal square.
He'll go around to the side of the mark. Launches a long bomb to the edge of the goal square, Jeff White. Nice mark. Taken there by Riley O'Brien as Murray got nudged out of the contest for the Crows.
Hinge is a big loss for them. He's been playing well down the back.
O'Brien on the last line for Adelaide. Carves off a short pass. It's good. Michael Annie marks. Hand passes to Keane, who kicks the left half back. And Scholl takes the grab for Adelaide. Beyond the left half back flank. Kicks it to the wing. And finds the target. Mark taken by Taylor, the sub who's into the game. Hand passes around the wing. Ends up back in the hands of Scholl. Rush kick to half forward, not great. Dunkley gets in the way for Brisbane to take the mark. Looks good until that last kick for the Crows, but Dunkley's got it for Brisbane. Chips a short pass to his co-skipper Andrews, who marks. Kicks infield to Zorko, spoiled off it by Taylor, but it was a push in the back. Free kick to Zorko at right half back.
So Zorko plays on quickly. Lace out, that's a nice kick to find Jared Berry. Handball off to his mate in McCluggage from 60 metres out. Inside 50, through the hands of Butts. Rode there by O'Brien, took him on, got the handball back to Michael Annie. Or they turned it over Smith. Handballed it over the boundary line. Will he get pinged? No.
Through for a point.
Just through for a point. It's scraped through, so no deliberate there. 80 plays, 59, 21 points of margin.
Rush behind to Brisbane and a quick clearance from the Crows. They get it to Fogarty. Beyond D50 right half back. Plays on with a hand pass to Soligo. Runs the wing, kicks to Walker. Walker marks in front of Payne. 80 metres out. His left foot kicks off the instep. Almost an inverted torp along the ground from Tex. Not one of his best for a guy who is one of the most beautiful kicks of the ball. He's mishit that one. And it's out of bounds for a throw-in. 40 metres from the Crows' goal. Sorry, Jeff.
I love the intensity of Adelaide. They're just playing on at every opportunity. Even though Tex Walker stuffed up that kick there, you can see Keys.
They're
just trying to play on at every opportunity.
The throw in across the arc of 50, rode there by Rankin. His handball to Sam Berry might have been taken high or held onto it too long as he had his pants pulled down. The umpire says you held onto it too long.
Here he is again, Dunkley. He's having an improved second half.
Touch 30 coming up, Jason.
Yeah, he's playing well.
Disposal 30.
He goes to his left to find Jasper Fletcher, the son of, kicks it forward 20 metres to Bruce. Nobody standing to mark.
Son of Pig.
He still puts it forward to Neil. Spoiled late by Murphy, but crowd wanted 50. It was in the basic act of marking, so Neil's going to retreat, go back to the arc of 50 to find Jack Payne by foot.
And it kicks it back to Andrews, so this is the keepings off with the chip mark for Brisbane, their defensive half. And they can do it because they lead the game by 21 points. Andrews decides to kick long to a contest on the outer wing. Target is Jared Berry. He's brought to ground by Lockie Scholl. Both tangled. Who wins that lottery? I got no idea. The ump gives it Adelaide's way.
Oh.
They were both engaging.
That was a free kick too.
But Jared has given it away. It's a Crows free kick to Scholl on the wing. Kicks Adelaide back into attack. A high ball on Himmelberg's head. Can't mark, but he taps it down to the roving Rankin. Tackled immediately. Push in the back.
High.
Push in the back or high. Which was it? Against Neil.
High.
Okay. Nonetheless, free kick for Isaac Rankin, who's already kicked a beautiful goal to this end. It was from hard in the right forward pocket in the second quarter. And he gets the boos because his shirt front put Brandon Starcevic out of the game. That will be a talking point beyond full time, and he's taking a long runner.
I was just laughing because the score went back to 0-0-0.
Well, that's why I've got my scrapbook here, Jason. I can tell you that he needs to kick a goal to make the margin 15 points. Rankin on the approach. Slight angle left. Has to kick it best part of 50. Right foot drop punt. He smashed that through. What a kick. Oh! That's like Scotty Scheffler with his driver. It's just powerful. And straight down the middle.
He just doesn't miss. 2
goals for Rankin. That was a beautiful kick. Contest needed it. Adelaide needed it. 15 points the margin in favour of Brisbane at 12-8-80 to 10-5-65.
Absolutely flushed. And I just love the intensity of Adelaide at the moment. Just the ability to play on, particularly half back line. When they get it, they've got running numbers from behind, moving the ball on. It's giving Brisbane no chance to get their defenders back.
Zane Bojack on the boundary.
You know, they talk about inspiration on field. Well, the bench was right behind that kick, and they were up as soon as he struck it there, Isaac. What a kick that was.
He's looking dangerous, and he's a good kick for goal, and they'll need him in this last part of the quarter if they want to win.
Adelaide now +3 in possessions, but plus 11 in contested possessions as well. Brisbane get this clearance though. Dunkley toes it forward. It's cut off there by Murray, and they'll get out of here via hands. It's Michael Annie. He puts a sky ball towards the commentary wing. Well spoiled there. Rankin got it to ground. Scholl did beautifully around his ankles, but then in jumped big fella Oscar McInerney. Tapped it back in underneath, hoping for that holding the ball free kick. The crowd was nearly duped into it. The umpire wasn't.
Only thing the scoreboard's telling us at the moment is the time.
Yeah,
there's no score, as in time of day, not time of quarter.
You've got one job as a scoreboard, show the score, and it doesn't. Berry kicks it inside 50 for the Crows, and it'll go against Taylor Walker here. It'll go to Ryan Lester. He grabbed him, held him by the jumper. That was the call made by Acker, as Ryan Lester now takes it and flares it out to left half back. They're out here, the Lions. Zorko by foot to Dunkley. Dunkley's directing traffic, telling Cam Rayner where to run. He runs 20 metres forward. Dunkley therefore ignores him and goes a bit longer. He cleared the way for Logan Morris. 60 from goal. Into the pocket, the lead. Oh, and the mark taken by the big O in the left forward pocket. Stretch those long arms out in front of Riley O'Brien. His left leg's going to be about 2 metres from the boundary. He's only about 20 out, the big fella. Can kick a straight ball, Acker.
He loves a goal. I think the last few weeks, you would have noticed more than me, Whitey, but he's been pushing forward, trying to get marks, trying to kick.
Especially when there's a slow play on the wing, as it was then. It was a slow play, so why not take a risk?
So he's facing the centre of the ground, shaping up to curl it around with that size 26 right boot. Oscar McInerney, he's put it very thin, one behind. And that takes the score out to 16 points the margin, 81 plays 65.
Saints beat the Swans by 2 points as Dawson runs beyond the goal mouth, kicks long almost to the wing. Himmelberg, great 1-2 control again to mark the ball.
This has been good tonight.
Between left half back and the wing, Elliot Himmelberg. Short pass over the man on the mark, not great. Murphy the target, read by Morris, he spoiled it. Rode by the Lions. Bailey with an injection for Brisbane, hits Cameron on the pocket. He plays on, Cameron gets onto his left foot and kicks the goal. And for the first time tonight, John Denver gets a run at the Gabba.
There it comes.
Brisbane 13-9-87. Adelaide 10-5-65. And Charlie Cameron's first gives Brisbane a 22-point lead. And he almost dished it off. He hasn't had a great game, Cameron, if you weren't with us earlier on. There were a couple of set shots that he flat out didn't get the journey when he should have kicked it. But then, well, he finds the instinct acca, thinking of the handball and thought, nah, I'll go myself.
Yeah, no, he had to do that. He had options, but that's what he should have been doing. You know, he had a man on in the square, just needed a handball, and instead of being at 2 minds, Jeff Whitey's in one, he kicked it.
Yeah, Himmelberg just trying to get that. He just had to go down the line there. It was a fast play.
Scoreboard's still on the blink, by the way.
Exactly, but it is 22 points the margin, 13-9-87, plays 10-5-65. Lions with another clearance. It's up to the arc of 50, gathered by Archie. Handball in there to Neil, pushed as he kicked it. It goes down towards Charlie in the goal square, slapped away. Here he is, left foot, and missed to the right. 88 plays 65 now. Should be a 23-point ball game.
Yep. Feel our roar. 6:31. That's what the scoreboard reads. We can tell you it's 13-10-88 to 10-5-65, 9.5 played final term. Long kick in from the Crows, well executed. Fogarty marks it right half back, beyond defensive 50. Left foot kick to the wing for the running Rankin. It's beyond his head. Lester's there to try and gather. He can't. He fumbles it over the boundary line. Throw in.
Well done by Lester then. He had to come off. They knew that Rankin was on the goal side. And it was a smart decision. He knew he could have an impact, and he did it really, really well.
It's never got bigger than 26 points, this margin, but Adelaide's never seen the lead. 23 points is the margin for Brisbane early in the final term. Boundary throw in. O'Brien for Adelaide taps down. Murphy does the roving. Rush kick to attacking 50 on the head of Rochelle. Spoiled away by McKenna, but coming by Saligo. Gathers 50 out, kicks to the goal mouth. Fly from Keys. Couldn't mark under pressure from Payne. Rush through for a point. Brisbane by 22.
That was a great defending spoil there from Payne. He was going back with the flight of the ball. Someone coming from behind him got a fist on it.
13-10-88 to 10-6-66.
In front of a crowd of 30,183 according to champion data, because it's not on the scoreboard. Long kick towards the outer wing. Harris Andrews stands tall, takes the mark in front of Keys, showing his frustration there. He's tried his heart out for the Crows here tonight. Andrews now long down the outer side. Dawson in the front position should be awarded the mark, and is. Crowd doesn't like it, but man in front has been a tenant of the game since day dot. He goes down the wing to Rankin. You can tell by the boos. Brodie Smith, handball to the run of Cook. Cook inside 50. Tex Walker winds back the clock with a Statue of Liberty play. One-handed mark. 20 metres out directly in front.
Sorry, Price. That's how they're going to get back in the game. Dawson, as soon as he took that mark, he played on straight away. Then Rankin's kicked back inside the corridor.
Handball receive.
Yeah.
And that kick was not meant to go as badly as it did to Tex Walker. It ended up being he had to sit. Easy mark.
Slight angle to the right. Tex Walker searching for his second goal and cracks it. That takes him up to 633 career goals and equal at number 30 on the all-time goal-kicking table with Brisbane Lion Alistair Lynch. 13-10-88 to the Lions, 10-6-66 the Crows. 22 points the margin. Zane Bojak's on the boundary.
Good news, guys. The scoreboard attendants, they've done their job because they've got it back on the screen. But you were talking before about the money having one job. Pricey could tell you the ground announcer had two. Every time that they scored, he actually had to read the scores out. He doesn't have to do it anymore now.
Yeah, and they were a bit tardy getting that text goal up, Pricey. So
Sorry,
it's actually...
mate.
No, you're right. 16 the margin at 13.10.88 to 11.6.72.
Must be a glitch in there, though, with the contact.
The lights are on, Jace. That's all we can hope for at the Gabba. That's the main thing. Centre bounce, Himmelberg and Danaher engaged, neither with a telling tap, but it's a kick forward by Rayner of Brisbane. A tumbler to half forward. Hipwood racing out for it. He's attended there by Murray, can't gather. Reveal picks up for Brisbane, 60 out. Chip is looking for Morris, but he's beaten to it. Marks taken by Butts. Butts with a short pass to Murray, right half back. He's going to kick it around the boundary line. It's a high ball, which is not great with penetration. Walker was a mile behind that. Wilmot gets to the drop to Mark on the wing. It's a high ball from Wilmot back to the pocket. And an Adelaide mark. Keane takes the grab. Short pass to Laird. Laird's inside defensive 50. His short pass is marked by Smith. Now, see the 50. Yep. Will Ashcroft did not REM. Pricey.
Did not stand.
The Crows play was going to play on. So
It was off. What more could he do?
Brody Smith plays on now by hand. Sam Berry, 45 from goal. Confronted. Boy, that's barely gone the distance. He finds a teammate in Taylor. Oh, he's just been on the ground for how long? He's missed it. It's a point. Wow. 13-10-88 plays 11-7-73. It's back to 15 points. 14 gone, final term. Game's still on, boys.
It is. They're hanging in there as they do. I told you, like Terminator. They just keep going. You shoot them 10 times, it just keeps getting up.
From a man that said that Sydney would definitely win at half time.
Hey, some of those fearless predictions. I didn't see anyone else say, the Saints will come back and we buy a couple of points. Nah. So you're there, you give it to me, but
we weren't wrong.
No, you weren't anything. You weren't anything. At least I said something. You got to have a fearless attitude towards predictions.
Jason Ackermanis, the fearless Brownlow medalist. Great to have him with us on ABC Sport. Boundary throw in. Ashcroft shrugged off it. Himmelberg's got it for Adelaide. Hand pass hoping for Saligo. Too hot. Ashcroft bashes in again. Hasn't really emerged from the pack. Now out of the back it comes from Taylor with a hand pass. High ball will go inside 50 for the Crows. It's double-fisted, clear by Wilmot to Ashcroft. He gets it clear by hand pass to Loman. Great tackle from Nankervis, but the hand pass goes clear to Wilmot. Dropped out by Rankin. He's doing it at both ends. Superstar play. Wins the free kick. Hand passes to a man running off half back. The kick goes to the wing from Dawson, but it misses Smith. Now the Lions have got it. Lester, he's tackled by Dawson, rides the tackle, then gets legged. Free kick.
They're playing with some energy here, Adelaide. They're really going after it at the moment.
I like how with Rankin there, the big chase down tackle, and then he knocked over the player shepherding as well on the way out. Well done. As Lester has it for Brisbane, kicks it down inside 50. That should have been a defensive mark paid to Keane. Nothing doing. Well done, Nankervis. Gave it back there to Michael Annie, off a step now. He kicks it just short of centre wing now. It rebounds back to half forward for Brisbane. Bailey took them on, shrugged the tackler, got a high contact, advantage paid. Lester from 45, Froggy Lester kicks like a backman. No problem. Straight through, one behind. 89 plays 73. It is now 16 points the margin in favour of Brisbane. 16 gone final term. Zane Bojak's on the boundary.
Yeah, I just wonder whether Isaac Rankin knows he's in a bit of trouble with that incident involving Brianna Starcevic, because after he knocked over Kalachi, he absolutely poleaxed him. He then put his hand up and said, no, I didn't mean to do that. So I think he's conscious of what's going on out there, Rankin, even though he's having a stormer.
Long inbound, free kick to Brisbane. McKenna was held off it, hands it to Jared Berry. Brisbane back into attack, in a pack. Half a chance for Morris in the pocket, under pressure, hands it to Hipwood, has a snap! Pushed through on the goal line by Nankervis, who's got one boot on and one boot off, and he's added 1 point to Brisbane's scores. 17 the lead to the Lions. That rush score makes it 13-12-90 to 11-7-73.
So the Crows back inboard, and it's to Tex Walker, just short of centre wing. He's got a runner, puts it out in front of him. It's Dowling
He gathers. Oh, that's nicely measured kick. Ben Keys monstered there by Harris Andrews. Former teammates, former members of the Queensland under-18s as well. That right half forward, Keys with the free kick. Wheels around, 55 from goal. Measures the left foot pass into the path of Fogarty. In front position, Jasper Fletcher cut that off as Fogarty spoiled it. It went over the boundary line next to the point post. We'll get a throw in. The Crows only trailing by 17 points. Desperate for a goal here.
There's 8 minutes and change left in the game. Adelaide has never seen the lead. Brisbane's lead has never got beyond 26 points. Boundary throw in, McInerney to the front for Brisbane. Hacks a hand pass clear, hoping for a line to get onto it. Reville obliges, but he has it slapped out of his hand by Keys. Great play, hands to Saliga, back to Keys. Hands it to Laird, little kick not effective. Bailey steals it for Brisbane on half-back. Hands it to Ashcroft, who runs clear of the congestion. Chips the lines to the wing. Hipwood is engaged there and ultimately spoiled by Murray over the boundary line.
There's a Falcon.
And it goes over for a throw in. Brisbane 13-12-90, Adelaide 11-7, 73. You're listening to the curtain come down on round 17 at the Gabba on ABC Sport with Quentin Hull, Michael Price, Jeff White, Jason Ackermanis and Zane Bojack.
Throw in, commentary wing, the Vulture Street side of the ground. It's short again.
What is wrong with this?
Slaps it. Noodle arm boundary umpires. It goes into the path of Archie. Handballed in front of himself and then Dawson pulled him down. He knew he was going to get it back. And Archie receives the free kick at left half forward, 70 out. He lowers the eyes, hits Cameron on the lead. 35 out. It's a pretty harsh angle to the left. But for a guy of this capability, it should be a soda for Charlie Cameron. He immediately lines up. Centering. He's looking at the centre of the ground. He's
no soda on today's form, Pricey.
Well, not on today's form.
The last 2 shots.
He's going to curl it around with his right shoe. He's tried drop punts from this angle both other times. He curls it. He curls it superbly. Out of form. Have a look at that, says Chuckles. 96 plays 73. Out to a 23-point lead now. 14-12-96 to 11-7, 73, 20 gone, final turn.
Well, it was set up by Big O. His big left mitt again, hitting it out forward of centre. Bandry throwing, hit it forward, and Calamarchi running onto it, obviously then got the free kick, but just to hit it out of that area, Aka, forward to centre, so dangerous.
And you got the momentum, yeah, you're right. Calamarchi just handball forward, gets a free kick, but still a great kick, and you could see it from a wheel right behind that kick, and it was on every day of the week. Charlie, he had the steam up, all he had to do was put it out in front, but Charlie, you couldn't kick it a drop punt 35 metres. Let's kick one around the corner, 40, I reckon.
Yeah, second quarter he had a set shot from there, didn't make the distance.
That's where he went.
But that's better, isn't it? That's what we expect from a man who's re-signed and twice named as a small forward in the All-Australian team.
Not easy to do.
So 2 goals for Cameron. Might be enough for Brisbane. 23 the lead. Centre bounce. Jared Berry with a hand pass. Oh, beautiful work from Zorko. Controlled it from his hand out of the sky onto his boot. Kicks it to half forward. Morris races after it. Boundary line too close. Out of play for a throw-in.
These guys, what are they doing anyway? They just cannot get these boundary umpires further than like 10 metres. They should be able to go 20, 25.
Anyway, here's the boundary throw, and that's okay, that one.
That's better. Just.
O'Brien and McInerney tangle. O'Brien got on the back of McInerney. Free kick, Brisbane.
Yeah, he's worried about McInerney hitting it forward when it's forward to centre, so that's why he's trying to engage in him a bit harder, and he gives away a free kick.
If the Crows aren't cooked yet, Jeff, they will be if Brisbane kick a goal here. McInerney sets it to the top of the goal mouth. Big pack, big knuckles out of play, throw it in. Left forward pocket for Brisbane.
They've scored 2 or 3 goals from their set plays inside forward 50 tonight, Brisbane. So this is where Adelaide's got to really be on the move. They've got to try and stop these players running.
Lions by 12 at quarter time, 15 at half time, 20 at 3/4 time, currently leading it by 23, 21 and a half final term.
The throw in the left forward pocket. It is short. McInerney slapped it into his own path, gathered, then got a handball out, and it missed everybody back over the boundary line. We'll do it all again from the same spot.
G'day to John, who's driving actually from the Barossa to Adelaide. He's having a rest because it's raining and foggy there, and he's listening to the last quarter. Come on, Lions. Good on you, John.
Have a wine while you're there, big fella.
Throw in.
Or 2.
McInerney got it down into the path of Dunkley. Flying shot, just hooked to the left, barely in for one behind. It stays there, 97.
plays 73, so it's a 24-point margin with 22 gone final term.
Unlikely, but it's the important point to make it a 4-goal neat lead. Kick down the middle, marked by Nankervis. Hand passes to Rankin. Rankin kicks towards Walker. Takes the mark beyond halfway in the middle of the Gabba at the edge of the centre square. In fact, that was Rochelle, my apologies. Zorko was all over his head, couldn't pick him up. Rochelle kicks deep to the forward line. It's punched away by Leicester. Out of play. Fogarty was the target, and we'll see it thrown in. So the Lions almost sealing away a 5th straight win that will see them jump to 7th on the ladder at the end of the round. Boundary throw in. Neal clears it for Brisbane. A toe poker is marked by Morris at right half back, and he is showing no intent to move it quickly. And here's the chant at the Gabba. I think that the locals are happy enough that they might have the 4 points here. Morris kicks it wide over the head of Danaher. Stays in the field of play. And free kick against Archie. Short pass was very short from Keane to Butts. Butts got smashed in the head and a 50-metre penalty. So Butts marched to halfway, kicks it to full forward. Fogarty hits the pack, 2 clunks. Yep, marked it. Marked it 30 out in the left forward pocket.
He's good. He's had a good year too, Fogarty. He's a good mark. He's strong.
Well, they need to be perfect from here to draw it, I reckon. Speaking of draws, these two teams know what to do in that regard this year. They're 4 goals down, Adelaide. There's a bit over 5 minutes to go. Fogarty makes it 3 goals the margin. 3 goals the margin. With 4 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock. Stranger things have happened.
They've got to get out of the centre. This is really important centre bounce clearance, just to get them back, get some momentum, but get some forward pressure. Every time it's gone in their forward line, they've been able to keep it there for a period of time to have some scoreboard pressure. So really important centre bounce clearance here for the Crows.
Tell you what, Fogarty's got a little bit of Pablo Escobar about him. Have a look at that moustache.
First goal that he's kicked of the day.
Yeah,
Fogarty.
Looks dangerous. That 50 was unlucky. That went 4 metres, that kick. But anyway, they're still here. As I said, like the Terminator, they just hang in there. You cannot kill them. They'll just keep coming.
Humans win at the end of that one, though, Acker.
Well, they do, but that's because we made it up, and of course we're going to win.
That's a good point.
This is reality.
The movie wasn't written by AI, that's why. So we're back into the middle. Oh, here comes Sam Berry, explodes onto it. Handball through to Murphy. Onto the left foot, it's a long one. Inside 50, here's Fogarty again.
Oh.
Yes, indeed.
There it is.
Darcy Fogarty being quiet. Only the 9 disposals and the 1 goal. Takes a mark 20 metres out. Immediately wants to play on and hook it around the body. He's got 2 in 20 seconds. Crows back in town. It's only a 2-goal margin with 25 gone in the final term.
Did we see something similar to the Suns in opening round when Adelaide played? I think. Oh no, they played. No, was it the second round or round 1? They came back, remember?
Opening round.
Oh,
round
Jeff.
0.
Jeff, we're good, but in round 17, that's a tester.
Good mark, good goal. Down to Zane Bojack. Big fella, what's happening?
Well, Chris Fagan, he's usually pretty unflappable, but I can tell you it gave a pretty, loud expletive on the bench just then when Fogarty took that mark and then kicked the goal. So Chris, not so happy.
4.5 minutes. What we're getting into here, Whitey, Demons come back against the Lions territory at the MCG last year. So Brisbane led by 4 goals with about 6 minutes on the clock. Fogarty's kicked 2 in the space of 90 minutes playing time. 2 goals to diff. Big centre bounce here. Laird toes it off the deck for the Crows. It rolls to half forward. Gathered by Keys, taken high by Jared Berry. Free kick.
Another centre bounce clearance for the Crows.
Keys between wing and right half forward. Will set Adelaide forward once more. Kicks to full forward. The front of the pack, no mark for Wilmot. Goes to the foot of the big man and the umpire comes in, says mine. Ball up. Adelaide in attack, trailing by 2 goals, 35 metres out. 4 minutes left in the game. Ruckman go at it. Bailey for Brisbane. Handed straight to Walker. Walker snaps. It's just to the right. It's a point.
Important point, though.
11 points is the lead to Brisbane. At 97 to 86, there's 3 minutes and 50 seconds left.
Zorko brings it back into the pocket to find Neal. Zorko runs past, collects the handball. He's in the back pocket now, measuring a kick towards Berry. Oh, well taken. Nankervis was flying, didn't spoil it. Berry, a short kick
into the path of Archie. Gathered nicely on the half volley. Handball back to Dunkley. Long kick from Dunkley towards half forward. Michael Annie went back with the flight, dropped it, picked up by Cameron. Handball to Joe. Joe tackled, holding the agate. It didn't hit his foot. Oh, that is dead set. Not good for the Crows. The ball spills outside of 50. Now Charlie Cameron, 70 from goal, wheels around. The right foot to a 2-on-1. It evades all of them, goes over the boundary line. Reckon the Lions dodged a bullet there. It's going to be a throw-in the left forward pocket for Brisbane. How's that not holding the ball?
A trip, really. Just, anyway,
well,
I think he put his.
It wasn't really a tackle. It was interesting. Danaher had a hand on his back, but it wasn't really grabbed. I think I'm trying to explain the decision. Anyway, boundary throw-in with Brisbane in attack. They lead by 11 points. Coming through is Taylor for Adelaide. Hands it to Rankin. Hands it out the back to the clearing kick from Scholl, but it's marked by Brisbane's Andrews. 60 metres out at left half forward. That was just a rush clearance from Scholl. Andrews will slow it down with a kick infield to Zorko. Zorko kicks it backwards. The most defensive man on the ground is Lester. There's no one near him defensive side of the centre circles. Kicks it back to Zorko. 2.5 minutes left. 11 points the lead to Brisbane. Zorko kicks wide to left half forward. He misses the target. Goes over the head of Neil and spins out of play. Boundary throw in at left half forward for Brisbane. There's 2 minutes and 27 seconds left in the game. And Brisbane lead by 11 points.
So the throw in, 70 from goal. It is McInerney versus O'Brien. Good throw in this time. O'Brien from the front position. It skims off his knuckles. It was Rankin to Nankervis, back to Rankin. The handball to Michael Annie at centre half bank. Back, he goes wide to the outer wing. Saligo follows it up beautifully, gathers onto the left foot. Keys, it bounces in front of him and Jasper Fletcher skids over the Gabba turf and will be a throw in where the arc meets the boundary at left half forward for the Crows. They're only 11 points out of this and we've got about 2 minutes left of play.
Need a goal from this 4A forward, the Crows. They have not seen the lead at all. Zach, 0, zilch seconds in front in the game. 11 points the lead to Brisbane. Throw in left half forward for Adelaide. Saligo wins the crumb. Kicks a Hobart to the pocket. Wilmot gets in front of Rochelle. Despoil. Neil does the roving for Brisbane. Near the pocket. Kicks it clear of immediate danger. To a pack on the outer wing. Off hands and out of play. And that soaked up a valuable dozen seconds or so for the Lions. It's a throw in. Adelaide still in their attacking half. 97 plays 86. The closer of round 17 on ABC Sport. Lions hanging on at the Gabba so far. No clearance from the foot of the stoppage. Hold on, free kick. Dunkley got pushed in the back. Oh, that's a big call. Josh Dunkley gets the free kick. Forward of right half back for Brisbane.
In the context of the game, that's huge. This is his 35th disposal. Kicks it to right half forward. Big pack and it's fisted forward for Adelaide. Well roved there by Taylor, gave it off to the run of Saligo. Was lucky to hit his foot. It was cut off by Brisbane now. Lockie Neal has it, just chips it forward. The lead from Danaher. He's 80 from goal between centre wing and right half forward, and Joe takes it like he's 10 metres out from goal. He's just taking his time and soaking up the seconds. We're down to a minute here at the Gabba. He wheels around onto the left foot towards the pocket. Fisted forward by O'Brien, roved by Murray. The handball off to Brodie Smith. They're out of half-back now, the Crows. Towards halfway. Fisted away from Nankervis. Getting in there, Fogarty couldn't pick it up. Crow taken without the ball. Should be a free kick, and it is. They're on the logo. It's Taylor, the substitute, injected into the game.
It's got to be perfect from here, and that's not. Kicked infield, looking for the corridor ball, and Neil takes the mark for Brisbane. Kicks it backwards to Wilmot. And Brisbane's got 26 seconds to suck off the clock to register their 5th straight victory. Wilmot decides to kick wide to the wing. Mark's taken by Danaher. He drops the ball, trying to milk a 50. Saligo arrived late. The umps aren't going to buy that. Joe's got it on halfway. And last year's beaten grand finalists are going to chalk up a 5th straight win. The mathematicians are going to find it hard for the Crows to get beyond the regular season from here. Siren sounds at the Gabba and Brisbane's won it by 11 points. Led all day. but the Crows never went away. But in the end, it's Brisbane. Victorious 14-13, 97 to the Crows 13-8, 86.
We are the pride of Brisbane town. We will roll, blue and gold. We will always fight for victory, like Fitzroy and Miserable. All for one and one for all. We will answer to the call. Go Lions, Brisbane Lions, we'll kick the winning score. You'll hear a mighty roar. We are the pride of Brisbane town. We will roll, blue and gold. We will always fight for victory, like Fitzroy and Miserable. All for one and one for all. We will answer to the call. Go Lions, Brisbane Lions, we'll kick the winning score. You'll hear a mighty roar. You'll hear a mighty
The Lions nuzzle inside the top 8. They go one step higher than where they started the weekend. Started the round in 8th, will finish it in 7th off the back of a 5th straight win. And with St Kilda winning today, the Crows now dip behind them, and their 22 premiership points has them 14 points outside of the top 8. A 5th straight win for Brisbane. I wonder what Jason Ackermanis and Jeff White have got to say about it. 14-13, 97 to 13-8, 86. 11 points the final margin. Brisbane won all bar the last quarter. They led by 2 goals at quarter time, 15 points at half time, 20 points at 3/4 time. Crows won the last term 4 goals 3 to 2 goals 5. It wasn't enough though. 11 points the winning margin for the locals. Cam Rayner kicked 3 goals for Brisbane. Lachie Neale kicked 3 goals as well. Charlie Cameron kicked a couple late in the game after having a couple of bad misses early. Singles for Lohman, Archie, Dunkley, Ashcroft, Morris and Hipwood. Adelaide, Ben Keys kicked 4 goals, career best for him. Taylor Walker with 2, Isaac Rankin with 2, Darcy Fogarty with 2, Elliot Himmelberg with 2, and the other kicked by Jake Saligo. So what do you reckon, Jace and Jeff? Assessment, please. Brisbane's won it by 11 points, and that's 5 wins in a row for the Lions.
Well, I thought the Crows brought the intensity tonight. They played really good brand of footy, played exciting. They played on at every opportunity. They put it to Brisbane, but credit to Brisbane. There's a point there where the momentum was shifting a big way in the Crows' favour, and they just grabbed a hold of the game, and then they went down, and then Charlie Cameron kicked that great goal. But I just felt that some of the stop plays they did tonight were really impressive, particularly forward to centre. Really loved the way that McInerney was hitting the ball out of the area, hitting it forward. They got a couple of goals that way. They also got a couple of goals inside forward 50, and that was a really good performance, a good solid performance by Brisbane. But credit to also the Crows. I thought they played outstanding footy tonight. That was a really good performance.
They did, and they had to make some changes at half-time. I mean, Dunkley and Lachie Neale just dominate that first half. They shut them down for a majority of that third quarter, then Dunkley got off the chain. But those 3 goals from Lachie Neale, highly unusual, mind you, in the Brisbane colours. That said, it's a credit to Adelaide coming back. They knew they had to do a few jobs and a few numbers, particularly on those 2 gentlemen, and then they started to win the midfield battle, get their hands on the ball. They were much cleaner at times there, which really did help. And then they got just some really good forward entries, one-on-one, a couple of good marks. Their forwards started presenting. Isaac Rankin kicked a couple of absolute bullets, dead straight, as Dennis Cometti used to say, gun barrel straight, and that's what you need. But having said that, Now, I don't want you guys to mention it because, you know, I did have one fearless prediction today, which was that the game was over with Sydney. But I did say before the game that this would be a 2-goal win, a couple of goals the Lions would win. It would be close, and that's exactly what happened. They do not go away, Adelaide. They have got confidence and they just hang around and they do the job. But that last quarter, more than anything, Jeff White, they really did take the game on and played on quickly because that's their only way to win. They knew it.
And they've got such Rankin, obviously, Soligo. They take off. They've got players that can really move the ball, use the ball really well. I think first half of this year they haven't played that exciting footy. They haven't played that slingshot footy, kamikaze, use the hands, get it out, switch the play. And they did that tonight, and they obviously did it last week against GWS to get the 4 points.
The thing for Crows fans, though, is you can explain to them that this is a creditable loss, but it means little after the poor performance which has got them in this position in the season. If they'd done what they expected to do in other areas, you sort of think, oh, okay, well, creditable loss. But, you know, they're so far behind the fight that's of little consolation to Crows fans.
The honourable loss, nothing worse than an honourable loss. But they've been like this for a couple of years. They just need to start to win some tight ones.
Yeah, and I think you sort of, there's a number of games, but particularly the back-to-back poor performances at home to Richmond and Sydney, and the gas was really taken out of their season, even though they won last week. But they've got St Kilda at home next week, the Crows, and Brisbane go to Perth to play the Eagles. They'll be a hot favourite to make it 6 in a row. Speaking of those two teams, they were involved in the games earlier today. St Kilda coming from 30 points down to beat Sydney by 2 points at Docklands, where Isaac Heaney's under the microscope for a tangle with Jimmy Webster. And the D's beat the Eagles, the other big birds, the Eagles, by 9 goals at the MCG earlier today. We'll sift through all of that before we finish up on this round 17. Your texts are welcome on 0437 774 774. Please send us your name and where you're texting from. 0437 774 774 is the number. Brisbane 14 13 97 to Adelaide's 13 8 86. The Crows have disappeared from the Gabba. The Lions are still milling at the top of the race. 30,183 fans in to see it.
Treated to a good game.
How are the Lions going, Jace?
They're going all right. This is not one of those wins that you necessarily we expected. But there wasn't really, except for a couple of Lachie Neale getting off the chain, there wasn't really anything that was a standout. I think the guys, this is just a regular. There didn't seem to be a lot of emotion. The guys just did the job. Can
I say this? The Lions have hummed twice in this 5-game winning streak. And they've just got the job done in the others. The ones where they hummed, the Doggies win at Docklands, and the way they flogged Port in Adelaide. But outside of that, the 3 Gabba games where you'd expect them to hum, they've just sort of got the job done. And that, I think, is probably the optimistic thing for Lions fans. There's plenty of improvement in Brisbane.
But the opposition were good. They weren't terrible. So you don't sort of discredit that the opposition didn't come to play and that the Lions should have flogged them. They have had to get their season back by playing a different brand of footy, and to their credit they have, and then they've started to win, which they always did at home, and they've got that ledger back in the positive, and it's been good to watch.
Well, the Crows basically turned it into a bit of a street fight, I reckon, and
after half time, how many stop plays did you guys call? The first, 4-5 minutes of that quarter.
But they brought it down and they brought it to the Lions. The Lions had to respond in a different manner, and the home crowd would enjoy that. But does that give you any insight into I suppose, the inadequacies of the Lions moving forward?
No, that's just another game plan that they have to just come out and fix. That when you get a side like St Kilda or them that will just try and shut it down with numbers around the ball, that's going to happen at times. You'll see it, different game plan when they come up against the Carlton or Collingwood and then the Sydney. But, yeah, that's just something they've got to deal with. It was never going to be pretty, and Jeff White and I saw it. They had to do that.
We'll get into the Brisbane rooms in just a moment. Lachie Neale had 36 possessions and Josh Dunkley 35. In a tight game, it's never about one thing, but that was a big ingredient, the way that those 17. Two senior midfielders dominated.
Well, scoreboard pressure. Lachie Neale's kicked 3.
17 clearances.
Kicked 1.
Oh. Let's get into the Brisbane rooms with Zane Bojack.
Yeah, a few of the heroes, particularly down back, Ryan Lester and Dane Zorko, they're the first in. Joshy Dunkley, Zach Bailey. They've got Eric Hipwood juggling some bandage tape. They're all very subdued, I have to say. There's not a hell of a lot of celebrating going on here at the moment. Oscar McInerney's probably got the biggest smile out of everyone here. Cam Rayner after his effort kicking goals tonight. He's pretty happy. Harris is the skipper, is about to join in the group, and there's not a lot of hooping and hollering, but they are about to sing as Charlie comes in off the back of a big extension this week and a win. Wasn't a lot of enthusiasm, but there was a lot of love there. Harris Andrews must have given Kai Lohman, I reckon, about 4 kisses during that song. So, yeah, a lot of merriment here between the group, and great to see. And shortly we'll be talking to Josh Dunkley, guys.
Awesome. We'll stay close, and just starting to get a bit of an opportunity to look at the other flashpoint in the game, which was the contact which saw Brandon Starcevic knocked out of the game. It was a front-on bump from Rankin off the ball, which was hardly demonstrative, but he got him well, and there was a portion of the top of Rankin's head which went into Starcevic's chin. So that means that as good as Rankin was, he is going to be in a bit of hot water over that, I would suspect, and particularly because Starcevic was subbed out of the game. Back to you, Zane.
35% for this guy, only one behind the skipper and Lockie Neal. I think he got a goal and a behind as well. Probably perhaps would have liked another one with that shot at goal he had. I'll start with that, Joshy. You'd be pretty happy with the performance, particularly given that you lost Brandon Starcevic very early.
Yeah, definitely. I did shake that one, didn't I? That shocking set shot for outside 50. But no, it was a bit of a grind. We knew that coming into the game that they were going to throw everything at us. And, you know, in the past couple of years, they've been really good against us. So they match up well. And we were ready for that tonight. So I thought, you know, we dug away and tried our best. And, yeah, fortunate to come over the top in the end.
It's been a big week for the club. Charlie Cameron re-signing Jared Berry. And look, took a little while for Charlie to get going. But are you always confident that he's going to be able to turn it on the way he did? Because he looked like he was really struggling early on.
Yeah, absolutely. You're always confident. He can turn it on in 5 minutes and be best on ground. Like, he's that type of player, and we love having him in our team because he's got that X factor that no one can really match up on. So we knew he was going to rock up tonight, and we do every week because he's been doing a lot of things that no one sees. I feel like that's the most rewarding thing from our point of view is he's doing those little things behind the scenes that are helping us score goals and be really selfless on the field too. So it's great that he gets some reward tonight. 5
wins in a row now. Where do you feel that your side is at as you try and get back into that GF?
Oh, I feel like we're pressing. It's anyone's game at this time of the year, which is very interesting. Our best is capable against anyone, so I think we take that confidence week in, week out to just tick off another win tonight, and look forward to next week now against the Eagles.
All right, well, I'll pass you up to the panel. We've got Jeff White, Jason Ackermanis, we've got Michael Price and Quentin Hull.
Well played, Josh. It's Quentin here. It seemed like a bit of a scrap. Did it feel like it?
Yeah, absolutely. I was cooked. 5 minutes into the third quarter, I started to feel a bit of cramp coming on. So I'm sure a lot of the boys were feeling the same. They threw a lot at us, and we dug away in there. And as I said before, fortunate to get the win.
So when you're involved in a game like that around the stoppage, there's obviously the physical level that you need to bring, but you also need to obviously keep your structure and play the footy. I'm just working out, I mean, you and Lockie had massive games. So how do you work it out between the two of you and the midfield group when it's going to be ugly, but you want it to be effective?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, you're always looking to, find those little things that are going to help us play good in a contested game and, really fighting it out. So whether that's, some inside-outside balance stuff or getting someone free by blocking and doing those little deals inside the stoppage. Locke got a tag for a little bit there, so try to manipulate that a little bit. And I think we saw some growth in that area, especially after they went to him in the St Kilda game. We probably didn't get what we wanted to get when he was getting tagged. So tonight was a good step in the right direction. And those little things, I just feel like they help us around the contest.
Dunks, Jason Ackermanis. There's a couple of things with when you play certain sides, when you're a midfielder like yourself and Lockie, sometimes it's good to actually have a week where you're not going to get a tag initially, and then off you go about your game, and then you had a good game, which is great. But the one thing, I said in the commentary that I'll ask you, because I have no idea if this has ever been a focus, but you've got yourself, Lockie, you chuck in Hugh and then Jared Berry. Great midfielders, but not really ones to get on the scoreboard much. And has there been any such talk of you guys actually getting, because it is very good when midfielders do kick goals while they are in the midfield?
Yeah, you're right. We have a bit of an ongoing joke that our mids don't really kick many goals. So for Locke to kick 3 in the first half, and I got 1, and Huey kicks goals most weeks, but especially Lockie and I feel like in the midfield sometimes we're not getting as deep forward as others. So it's nice to get on the end of a couple here and there, but it's not our. I wouldn't say that's our job to get down there and kick the goals much, because we got to set up behind the ball.
Josh, Jeff White here, and just going on that, I thought Big O played a big part. It just seemed to me, forward to centre, you had a set play to hit it forward. You don't want to give away too much, but it looked like you had some really good set plays forward to centre.
Yeah, like I said before, with the Lockie getting tagged a little bit, we wanted to push the ball forward a little bit more and try and get him on the inside, and then be inside and outside, so having that representation in and then faking it almost to then get it on the outside. So those little things are things that we look at throughout the week and plan for, so it was nice that we executed a couple of them tonight. I reckon we tried to do that against St Kilda a few weeks back and didn't execute it. So, as I said, bit of growth there, which is great.
And you can see the passion when you got that one to Lockie out of the centre. I think it was in the second quarter. It was a brilliant tap by Big O. But, yeah, just that synergy between the mids was outstanding tonight.
Yeah, those little celebrations as a line group and as a team as a whole, I feel like they're so important, especially when a team comes up, and they're playing at our home ground and we're trying to stamp our authority on them and make it a bit of a fight for them. Those little moments that we can, make sure that we get on top of and celebrate, they're really important.
How's your body feeling at this point of the year, Josh?
Pretty sore, to be honest. It's that time of year where training loads start to go down a little bit, and you just sort of get through the weeks and maintaining your strength and those little things. So, we had a big break this week, which was nice. 10-day break off a Friday night last week against the D's. So looking forward to now going over to Perth as a group and hopefully getting another scalp. Yeah,
and I think the collective competition is knowing what you guys did last year. Obviously, you were slow out of the block, and we wonder whether or not this is a sign of a team hitting its top speed, and the energy's still there. How much have you had to burn to get back on pace in the comp this year?
Oh, as I said, yeah, it's been a really close competition this year. I think, it's anyone's ball game at this time of the year, and it's all about timing. I feel like, if you hit your straps at the right time of year, you'll give yourself a shot. So we're really confident in our game and have been all year, just probably weren't executing earlier on in the season as it's been highly publicised. But no, we love getting to work day in, day out, and hopefully we can continue this form into the back end.
Well done. All the best in Perth next week.
Thank you. Cheers.
Josh Dunkley, who today had 35 possessions, 14 of them contested, 7 clearances, and he kicked 1 goal as well, and was one of the main reasons that the Lions were able to survive a dogged effort from the Adelaide Crows here, but Brisbane's won the game by 11 points. Quentin Hull, Michael Price, Jeff White and Jason Ackermanis wrapping things up here at the Gabba. Brisbane 14-13-97 over Adelaide's 13-8-86. If you want to get in touch, 0437 774 774 is the number.
If Dunks comes on anymore, we'll have to start paying him the
Well, he's come on a couple of times.
It says been a few. ABC's he'd be the most.
Josh Dunkley. Daniel's on the text and says, all Brisbane had to do was win, considering all the upsets this week. Job done. Thank you, Daniel. 0437 774 774 is the number.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, and you talk about the clearances there, Q. Lachie Neale's had 10. Josh Dunkley's had 7, just between those two. And the best for the Crows was Rory Laird with 6, and the rest was go all the way down to Ligo had 5. He was pretty good tonight.
And Berry had 5.
And votes and more analysis to come. But important after the weekend and Sydney losing today, among other things. Here's the ladder after round 17. So the Swans and the Blues both lost at the weekend, but they both stay first and second, so the gap's still the same. Sydney 13 wins, 3 losses. Carlton 11 wins, 5 losses. So the Swans have still got a 2-game buffer over the Blues. The Dockers and the Bombers both half a game outside of the top 2. The Dockers, 42 premiership points, won 15%. Essendon, 42 premiership points. Their percentage is still under the 100, 99.9. But that's one of the issues. If they keep winning, the premiership points will, of course, counterbalance that. So that's your top 4. Sydney 13 wins, Carlton 11 wins, Fremantle and Essendon 10.5 wins. Then 5th and 6th, both with 10 wins, Geelong and Port Adelaide. A good win for Port at home. And a good win for the Cats at home as well last night. Giants winning over the Blues, gets them to 7th. Sorry.
Giants are 8th.
Giants are 8th. I just needed to refresh my ladder here. My apologies. The Lions, should I say, are 7th. 9.5 wins. 38 premiership points. So they're a win outside of the top 4 at the moment, the Lions. The Giants, with their win last night, 36 premiership points, 9 wins, 7 losses. And they're inside the 8 on percentage, ahead of Giants 8th, 108%, ahead of Collingwood, 9th. 8 wins, 2 draws, 104.5%. Melbourne, 9 wins, 104.4%. So your Ds are just behind Collingwood by 0.1%. The Dogs' poor performance in Adelaide seen them slip a game adrift of the top 8, but their percentage is still healthy at 114.8. 8 wins, 8 losses. The Suns, 8-8. Bad loss to North Melbourne yesterday. They're still only a game outside the top 8.
But they've got a lot of growing up to do. Sorry.
Well, that's a long narrative, isn't it?
I told you, this season got into the last game.
Hawthorn.
It certainly will. And
Hawthorn's lost. I'll just finish the ladder.
Sorry.
Hawthorn's lost. They're only a game outside the 8. But their percentage is poor, 94. Hawks 8-8. Then a 2-game gap to the Saints, who won today with 6 wins. Adelaide 5.5 wins. West Coast 3 wins. North and Richmond 2 wins. North second last off the back of their win, 66%. Richmond on the bottom with 62%. So that's the ladder after round 17.
Just wonder if that 99% for Essendon, is that going to cost them a top 4? That's how close it is.
It could.
That percentage is really, really low.
So from 3rd to 10th, there's a game and a half, 6 points.
Game and a half, yeah.
Dogs and Suns and Hawks a game outside of the top 8 with 32 premiership points.
But how often do you see that, Q, a team that's sitting in 4th on the ladder with the 14th worst percentage in the league? It could play into, could come into play, I should say, White.
Unusual.
Well, 10th is 2 games. Yeah, you go all those calculations, don't you? But
the Bulldogs, their 114.8 is the, I think, 4th best in the comp. Fifth best now. With the Lions, what is important for the Lions, their percentage of 120 is helping them.
It's helping them big time.
And there are, at the moment, 3 teams inside the 8 who have that half-game win, that 2 points, which it does still make... Usually when you get the draw, it takes percentage out of it. Because we've had a number of draws this year among the contenders, it means that percentage is still a real issue here.
Well, I don't know if you said it, but it stacks up. Like Melbourne's 10th, and they're 2 games out of 2nd.
Yep. And the Premiers are outside of the 8 at the moment.
What if it gets down and the Bombers drop a couple of games because it's so close? I mean, their percentage could tip them out of the 8.
Well,
absolutely.
So
that's right.
The only teams where percentage will be an issue for Essendon are Fremantle and Brisbane, because they're the only other teams with the half a win.
Yeah.
So that's, who knows? We might get another draw.
Yeah.
Things could change. So you're right. It is. It's strange to see a top 4 team with a percentage less than 100, but to contextualise that, the percentage will only, unless we see another draw, Bombers fans, the thing that you've got to look at is where are the Dockers and where are the Lions when it comes to that poor percentage.
But you also got to look at their run home. They've consolidated themselves in the top 4. They're 4th in the top 4. They don't leave Melbourne until the last round.
Yeah, they come here.
Yeah,
they come here.
So they've got if this is a window of them to make the finals, here it is. This is it, and you've got us next week, Melbourne.
Jeff White and Jason Ackerman with you now. 11 points the margin here. Let's go through a few more of the numbers. Neil had 36 possessions, Dunkley 35, and then a big gap. It was those two, and they gapped the field. Zorko 22, Ashcroft 21, Bailey and McCluggage 17. Rory Laird was the best for Adelaide. He had 27 disposals. Brodie Smith and Lockie Scholl 22, Keane 20, Murray 20, Dowling and Berry. Murray 19, Dowling 19, Berry 19, and Curvis 19. Overall, Brisbane had 3 more touches, 347 to 344. The contested possession, Adelaide won that +6, so nothing in those disposal stats. The marks were interesting today. It's the first time for a while that the discrepancy in marks hasn't been as big for Brisbane. Still, they won that stat by 19 at 105 to 86. We didn't see as much of the keeping off in the back line today.
Chip. And the reason for that is because obviously the Crows did their homework, because when they went into that mode, they pushed up really quickly, got one-on-one. So forced them to kick it down the line, and then they turned it over. So credit to Crows for actually doing the homework on that.
You know what I'm surprised about the most, pardon me, is that Nick Murray was not referenced in the Riverina references, being from Ganmain Grongrong Matong. I was waiting for that all night.
How long have you been practicing that name, though?
Well, I had to research how many syllables has it got.
Yeah, Grongrong.
The other thing with this too, I don't think I've seen a game for a very long time.
Well, he also came from Henty in the Hume League.
All right.
Henty, yes.
Old Henty, hey?
Yeah.
I got a couple of players out of Henty.
Ganmain Grongrong Matong, by the way, are the Lions.
They are.
They're the merged entity of the Ganmain Lions and the Grongrong Matong Magpies.
Wow.
How would you feel telling that? Where are you from, Grongrong?
Yeah.
Where's that? It's
in the Riverina.
In the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
Grongrong.
Sorry, rest of the stats.
Sorry, I
rest
threw
of the
that.
stats.
Sorry.
Brisbane won the clearances by 5. Inside 50s, Brisbane won that by 7. So across the board there's not a huge discrepancy in the statistics. 27 scoring shots for Brisbane. 21 for Adelaide. 11 points the difference. Couple of, it's never this simple. But layman speak, 2 class players ensured that the Lions got a valuable
That's
win.
what I'm trying to say. I don't think I've seen a game like this for a long time where there's been 2 players they've had 71 possessions between them, kick 4, and the next best was Zorko at 22. Normally there's someone else has got 30. But that's extraordinary domination from those two tonight. Extraordinary. And they're having 17 clearances between them.
3 and 2 votes.
Go for it, you two. Give us the votes. So, who got the one?
Who got the one was the ruckman, Big O, because I thought his ability, don't worry about stats and all this other rubbish, the ability for him to get it out of that area, that sort of that first little part where all the midfielders were sticking, and they had everyone just one-on-one. It was an absolute bung fight in there most of the time. But his ability to get it forward, a couple of those set plays, and Jeff White knows how good a good ruckman is. I think that was a very important role he played. Took some marks, could have had a goal. So Big O won. I think you could throw a hat over these two, but I think
you can't give 2.5 each.
No, you can't. I'm just going to have to give 2 to Dunkley and then 3 to Lockie Neal, because Lockie did kick the extra couple of goals.
Well, the 3 goal first time as a Lion, he's kicked 3 goals. Done it a few times as a Docker. Kicked 4 as a Docker once.
Yeah.
But first time as a Lion, he's kicked 3 goals.
And he kicked it in the first half too. So he just
set up the win. I think that's the only difference between those two, because they were fantastic. I mean, just Dunkley just had better aerial work today, but everything else was Lockie. He was superb.
Here's a curly one for you as we get to the end of this round. Of the 2 teams that played in the grand final last season, who's the more dangerous bottom of the 8 floater at the moment?
I think Brisbane.
Collingwood aren't in it at the moment, it must be said.
No,
but
they've got problems.
I think they're starting well. They're just running out of gas. For me, Mychek is a massive loss for Collingwood. Massive.
Yeah.
So he's out for the season. That's a big loss. It's really hard to cover. I know they've got Kruger and they've got a few that they could go forward, but he is not only a workhorse, but he's just such a man mountain down there.
That narrative's flipped, hasn't it? Because it was Collingwood who were sort of looking all right, but 2 losses in a row, and those injuries start to creep up. And boy, oh boy, their chance in community chest, they just pull get out of jail free a lot, haven't they, the last couple of years? And they're starting to go to that pile, and they're not getting get out of jail free anymore.
It can't go on forever. It never does. So you always run the risk. But that said, look at the Lions had those injuries early in the season, and they've bounced back and found some players as well, where Collingwood are now having those injuries, and I don't know if they've got the bounce back, and that's the problem, because it's going to take 4 or 5 weeks to get those players really up to speed and really contributing.
So other news of the day, on the match review, what's come through from yesterday, from the Port Dogs game, Mitch Georgiadis has been given or offered the 1 match for striking Nick Caulfield. So Georgiadis offered the 1 match for striking. Toby Green will get off with a fine for striking Brodie Kemp in the Giants' win over the Blues. And the MRO watch today is for Rankin in this game for that shirt front on Starcevic, what we talked about. And the game at Docklands, I've only seen a little bit of the vision, but it was miles off the ball. Isaac Heaney lashing out with a hand and making contact with Jimmy Webster. And that's of huge consequence to the Brownlow medal.
So obviously zoom in a lot. It's behind the goal, so it's not, it's way off the play. But the fact that he had blood nose is going to be a big.
The Crows must have an early flight out of Brisbane because young Taylor, who was the injected sub, is actually doing his warm down in amongst the kick-to-kick. Extraordinary. I've never seen this happen.
You're right. Direct flight out, that is unusual.
Is he signing autographs while he's doing it?
Yeah, he stopped and signed some autographs, took some selfies, and he's sprinting along with the physio across
this is why
through hundreds of people. I've never seen this happen on an AFL ground before.
This is why I don't want the sub.
You don't
want it?
No.
Well, that's another big argument.
Just put the bench big enough and then they go down and it's too bad.
Yeah, you have to do this. I don't agree with it.
Well done to Taylor, though. He's negotiating that well.
Let's have a quick look at next week before we wrap things up. So the winners today, Melbourne, St Kilda and Brisbane. Round 18 kicks off on Friday night. Huge game between Collingwood and Geelong at the MCG. That will be fun. Now, Sydney, off the back of 2 consecutive losses, we go to Saturday now. They have a home game against North Melbourne, who picked up their second win of the season against Gold Coast yesterday. The Hawks go to Tassie to play the Dockers. That is a big game.
That's not a fait accompli for the Dockers.
Oh no, I think that's really. If both teams want to be what they want to be, they win that game.
Wowee!
And they play well down there, the Hawks.
Yeah, so that's a real. And the Dockers are. I think they're sneaky. Your old mob, Jeff. They're a sneaky contender. They've been pretty good.
They've been playing good footy too, aren't they?
So Hawthorn versus Fremantle, the twilight game. The Dogs get back into friendly confines at Ping Pong House at Docklands. They play there well. Blues are playing there okay as well of recent times. So both teams looking to bounce back from losses interstate. Western Bulldogs versus Carlton, twilight Saturday. Crows at home to St Kilda. D's host Bombers Saturday night at the G, Jeff.
Big game. Massive game. Massive.
Essendon's got some wriggle room.
They're playing.
Melbourne hasn't got much.
They're just the way they're using the ball at the moment. Their skills are really at a high level, Essendon. They're just carving up sides like they did the other night.
What do you reckon for Gold Coast at home against Port Adelaide on Sunday? That will be fascinating. Damien Hardwick blowing up at his team for their loss to North Melbourne, and Port were excellent at home.
They were sensational.
Just to flex and let us, so that's a big game on Sunday, Gold Coast versus Port. Then Richmond host the Giants at the MCG, non-negotiable for the Giants. They've just got to get that done to stay in the race. And non-negotiable for Brisbane. They go west to take on the Eagles. Of course, they've been hot and cold at home, but they've been better at home than away. Who knows what we're going to get from West Coast next week. But always the longest. It's the longest road trip, Brisbane to Perth.
That was interesting what you said before about the fact that of the 5 wins that Brisbane's had, they've had really close ones at home, but they've travelled away really, really well.
Thanks for your company, Jeff. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Michael. Great work from Zane Bajak on the boundary. Robert Apolloni on the faders here, and Mitch Turner back in the studio. Thank you for your company throughout the weekend. A reminder, Wimbledon continues on the Listen app tonight as we get closer to the second week of the championships. They play on the middle Sunday these days, which is good. It always used to be a day off. Brisbane's won this one here by 11 points to join St Kilda and Melbourne as winners to close out round 17 of this 2024 season. Thanks for your company. To half back and his kick's turned over. Danaher steals it 50 out on the boundary. Kicks to the goal mouth and there he is, Jace. Cam Rayner. Slight angle for Cam Rayner. This will be the first goal of the afternoon. And the Lions get it after 3.5 minutes.
To Lohman. Puts on the afterburners. Handball to Hipwood. Back to Rayner who dropped a put. Tackled now as he regathers. Was it high? Yes, it was. Rayner comes in from 35. He's got 2 in a minute. A quick kick, top of the square. Danaher the target, pissed it away from him. Enter Ashcroft. Ball spills out there. Bruce Rebill off the ground into the path of Neil. Neil kicks it. Lions with their third very quickly. Good attacking move, well done by Butts. Gave it back to Laird, inside 50. Big pack. Now roving it for the Crows, front and square. Keys throws it onto the left foot and scores the first goal for Adelaide. The former Lion gets on the board for the Crows.
Cleared off the goal line by Nankervis of the Crows. Oh, but Neil has risen in a pack of 4 to take a mark.
Good mark.
Straight in front, 45 out. Champs pick those. And he does for his second. Throw in Brisbane in attack. Tap back boundary side. Adelaide's ball off Schultz. Handball's too hot for a teammate. Stolen by Neil. His hand pass too hot for Bailey. It ricochets back to Lockie Neal. In the pocket, he creates some space. And among the scrap, the class comes to the fore. Lockie Neal never kicks multiple goals. He's got 3 already.
Outrageous. Backwoods to Scholl, who kicked it to the top of the square. Off crunch numbers. Picked up by Keys. He has another ping. That's 3 for Ben Keys. Crowd give him the boos here at the Gabba. The former Lion laughing all the way to the bank. Slap forward. Rayner overruns it. Picked up by Dunkley. Has a flying shot. And it's scrappy, but it's another goal to Brisbane. The pressure got to the Crows there.
Keane kicks to the pocket and Keys slides to his knees to take the mark near the boundary, about 10 metres around from the point post in the right forward pocket. Looking for the left-footed snap punt, opens up the angle, has a go, kicks the goal! So Butts marched to halfway, kicks it to full forward. Fogarty hits the pack, 2 clunks, yep, marked it. Marked at 30 out in the left forward pocket. They're 4 goals down, Adelaide, there's a bit over 5 minutes to go. Fogarty makes it 3 goals the margin. 3 goals the margin. With 4 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock. Stranger things have happened. Siren sounds at the Gabba and Brisbane's won it by 11 points. Led all day, but the Crows never went away. But in the end, it's Brisbane. Victorious 14-13-97 to the Crows 13-8-86.